were back in the Midwest teaching gym. He was like, it ain't how fast, it's slow and steady that wins the race. And I never forgot it.
It really is crazy that you see him come and fucking go in this town. Like, you just see him come and go in this town. And for Dice to tell you that type of story, that's little steps. And he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I sat here and got pissed on and watched people do what the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
And I would say, and I'd see other people that were fucking animals.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody looked at these people. And then the card flips. But then, at times, a few of them slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you wish them well, but you know somewhere along the line they're going to crack because this is tough. And it's like Ronda Rousey. When they all come at you,
Yep. There's no shortcuts.
they all come at you for the same fucking direction. This show is brought to you by Onnit. For all your supplements, go to Onnit.com right now and press in.
Church.
And get 10% off your order delivered to your house. This show, and it's an honor to have these guys on the podcast, HelloTushy.com. Bidets are back, bitches. The Church of What's Happening Now would love for you to have a bidet to keep your muffler clean and your nutsack or monkey always intact. Do me a favor. Go to HelloTushy.com right now and get 10% off your order. Go to HelloTushy.com and look.
Church.
Slash what?
Church.
Slash church. And that gets you 10% off. But Hello Tushy, go look at the fine line of bidets they have and how a bidet is going to change your life. Also, I'd like to introduce one of my favorites, CISO. They got my special on there. They got Big J's on there. They got Nick DiPaolo's on there. Listen, for all your comedy, go to CISO.com right now and sign up 1 month free with promo code Joey at checkout. That's CISO.com, spelled SEESO.com, promo code Joey, all right? You ready for the punchline? Here it is, CISO.com, promo code Joey. Oh, shit. Monday, April 3rd. April Fools could suck your dick. It's over. Yeah, give it to me. What? Church of What's Happening Now.
I'm mad. Got to get back.
Oh. I need some. Oh, shit. This is what you need, baby boy.
Payback. Payback. That is. Payback. Revenge.
Here you go, cocksuckers. What? Bam.
To get down with my girlfriend. That ain't right.
Church of What's Happening Now. Little Lee Syatt, a.k.a. Festos. My man Steve D. Simone, a.k.a. Steve Simone. And your Uncle Joey Diaz coming at you, cocksuckers. What?
Never do any damn thing to me.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? It's another edition of the church. Welcome to Podcastville. I got my main man, Steve Simone, Lee Syatt with his blue shirt on. I gave him a bong hit. Ooh. His eyeballs almost blew out.
Was that the same thing you gave Dean Delray? Because that's what I felt like.
No, that was whatever the fuck. This is the devil's lair. What I gave you, the same shit I gave you last week, and your face got all red and shit like that. I want to thank all the people who came to the shows at Nyack. One of the funnest fucking weekends I've had in a long time. A lot of crazy people showed up. My man Andrew Nandal showed up. My other dog showed up with spaghetti sauce. I traveled all the way back with a jar of fucking spaghetti sauce. The fucking troops showed out. And it all ended with some guy getting hit in the head with a bottle in the fucking bathroom on Saturday night and telling me it was the best night of his fucking life because it was his birthday and he came to the show. So I want to thank everybody who came out. I had a great time to do with the tattoos from the Bronx. I mean, there was just the two Italian dudes, the Lula brothers, fucking Fidel and his brother Raul, the Jews who came. I mean, I loved everyone. I had a great time last weekend. The fucking food was great. I had spaghetti and clam sauce. I gotta be honest with you, I even had the sushi twice.
Wow.
Delicious. You know me, you can't eat fucking meat on Friday, so you gotta slip in some Philly rolls and shit. And a shrimp tempura roll to get the party started. And I've been holding out good. It's been a good Lent.
Me too.
This has been a very good Lent. I stuck to my Fridays. I didn't eat no fucking edibles.
It's been good for you, I was gonna say. For me, it's been like it's like the opposite
Listen, for you, it's every day at the office. This is it. We don't stop here, Lisa. This is what makes our podcast different than anybody else. We don't stop the party here.
What do you mean podcast? I was gonna tweet something.
This is a lifestyle. The
you
church
said-
of what's happening now is a mental lifestyle. If you ain't running with the Hebrews, we got so many different directions and philosophies coming into the church. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know you. But I woke up like I always try to think about like what other people are going through at offices. I got 2 emails from Joey at about 1:45 a.m. last night, and they both started with, I've been up since 1 a.m. cocksucker. You're slipping. We're taking over 2000. Like it's just like what kind of email? Like this email would go to HR. Like this would be a big scandal at a company.
Dog, last night I laid down. I fucking sat there with my wife. My friend Becky came over. We had donuts. We watched Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke. Phenomenal fucking movie. De Niro stole it again as the devil. Fucking tremendous. When he eats that egg, he scares the shit out. And my man Dave Foley put it up on his fucking website, so it's in HD, like that new shit.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God. But anyway, and it's funny, my daughter came in.
Aw.
And I'm watching whatever. She goes, Daddy, it looks like a scary movie. I go, I know, I'm scared myself. Why don't you sit next to me and we could be scared together? She just looked at me and ran out of there. That's a scary ass movie. Just to look at the darkness of that movie. You know, when that movie came out, it was that Golden Child.
Oh yeah.
And something else came out in 1987.
87.
And New York Times wrote a big article that the devil was alive and kicking that year. That was the year of the devil in cinema.
Wow.
Because those 3 movies were really they really hit hard. Like, The Golden Child, nobody's ever watched.
That was Eddie Murphy.
That's
right?
Eddie Murphy. Nobody sees that movie. Nobody knows it exists. Nobody ever paid attention to it. It's like after 48 Hours and Trading Places, and I think it's a little before Coming Back to America.
Right.
So he had done, I don't know if he did that Blackula, so nobody's ever really seen Golden Child. Golden Child is an interesting movie about a kid who's going to save the world, and the chick posed in Playboy, big tits. She was a little Indian girl, nice. That's a weird movie. No, but that's that whole year. They said 1987 was the year of the devil. There was one other movie that came out in 87 that was a strong devil flick. I don't know what the name of it is. It really doesn't even matter. But
Right.
my wife went to bed. Becky left. And it was 11:15. I go, let me go lay down. I'm tired. Like, I was physically and mentally tired. The weekend in Nyack, you know, the long flight. JetBlue has won me over.
Okay.
Won me over. Like, it beats Virgin, it beats American, it beats Delta in those 6-hour trips.
They've been ahead of the game for years. I've loved JetBlue. They were one of the first to have TVs. The seats
everywhere,
are comfortable.
right?
Everywhere.
Every-
And you know what? I love, and I've only done it a couple times. Those extra legroom are great.
Are great.
Everything on
And
there.
you could get up, get your own potato chips, sodas.
Oh, that's great.
Because this was an old date. My agent called him and said, can we negotiate a price or something a little higher? He's selling more tickets now. And they came to an agreement. I'll just tell him to get me a mint plane ticket on. Let's just go down the middle. Forget the percentage. Just get me a mint plane ticket. I'll pay for it and send them the receipt. Boom, and they could pay me that. Boom, and that's what I did.
Oh, that's great.
And it's a third of the price of all those other big passenger airlines. Because Kennedy, LAX to Kennedy is $3,000.
Oh my
I usually
gosh.
use upgrades. I get upgrades. I have like 97 upgrades. So it's 4 to New York, but you're not going to guarantee. That's what everybody's scam is.
Right.
What weird thing happened was I went to bed in these acidic. When I got onto the fucking flight in New York, I get in the flight in New York. I'm first on the flight. Some chick with a dog is sitting in the cubicle next to me because you got to get an even number, and you have the cubicle to yourself.
Okay.
So it's like your own little apartment, like a doctor. You should have seen me. I fit in there, and I was sleeping like this, like a baby in the embryo. I had Godfather 2 on. They got Rocky.
So good.
I got Godfather 2 on the way there, and what did I get on the way back? Maybe Rocky 1. Maybe Rocky. It was something else I watched. I watched a couple of Law and Orders. I watched a couple of shows about the alligator people, swamp people. Best show on television, those rednecks. Last week, the guy's finger got cut off. He's still driving the thing. He's like, I got to rush to an ambulance because bacteria might come in here. But I still got to make a living and go get myself an alligator. And he went with his little fingerless fucking hand.
Oh, my gosh.
And at the end of the show, the guy goes, man, that was a good job today. He goes, I'd give you a high five, but it's really a high three. Fucking hysterical, swamp people. Best show
so
on television. So, when I woke up, my cubicle smelled like fucking farts. Like ass. But these Hasidic Jews sat behind me, and they went with the whole garb. Him and her had the whole garb when they came on. Then he started making a commotion. He had to put some type of Jew pajamas on. This guy goes into the bathroom and changes his little yarmulke suit on to this other gray plaid pajama suit on. And his wife got up, and she goes in the bathroom, and she changes into some little Jewish outfit. And she comes down and sits down behind me. I don't say 2 words. I was going to call Lee, but it was too early in the morning to bother him. So I just went back to bed. When I got up, dog, it smelled like 22,000 farts in that fucking cubicle. I had a protein shake, and then I ate something on there was no fucking nothing. There wasn't a place open in Kennedy. That's how early I flew out of there. I flew out at 5:45, playing boards at 5:15. There's nothing open. Do you understand me?
Yeah, it's the worst.
So I got on the plane. I had like yogurt, granola. I had the shrimp. I had 2 pieces of chicken and fucking waffles. I bent over and went to bed. 3 hours later, I wake up with 20 minutes left. My whole cubicle smells like a dead fart, even with the fan going. I'm thinking it's me, but it was so bad. I look around, I look behind me, the Jews were gone. You understand me? They said, fuck it. So I must have been farting the whole fucking flight. Tremendous. When we landed, I go, what happened to the Jews? I didn't ask the lady because I didn't want to be
You made them move their first class seats. And the airplane farts must be, especially yogurt and protein shake.
Oh, plus the salmon I had the day before.
Oh, Joey.
Oh, yeah, I was killing the Philly roll.
The clams from Friday.
The clams from Friday. That Nyack water. It was all over but the shouting, dog. Plus, I had an espresso before I went to sleep. They have espresso on there. I got a double espresso.
And then you went to sleep?
You know me, dog.
Yeah.
I could do an 8-ball and close my eyes. I don't give a fuck anymore. I remember one time I was shooting a shitty movie, and I'd stayed up snorting the whole night. And I went to the fucking thing, and I drank 2 Red Bulls and went right to sleep. I'll never forget that. People were like, man, we've never seen that before. Listen, let me tell you a little secret. I've been snorting blow for 24 years. 2 Red Bulls could suck
It's not
my
going to
dick.
do anything to you.
I'm down to sucking orange peels. When you get coked up in the old days, I had a Colombian friend who would say to take the orange, cut it, and suck on the orange peel.
Like halftime at a soccer game?
Yeah, like suck the orange peel, and whatever vitamin is in the peel will neutralize the acid and the cocaine. I did it once or twice. Who the fuck knows? Even when you lay down, your heart's beating to death. Steve DeSimone and myself will be at the Borgata July 29th. Are you kidding me or what? We're trying to pick up a gig in Delaware on the 28th just so we can swing by and get cookies and a cheesesteak. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we're going to go to Delaware. Let's stop. No, we can't, Joey. It's only 3 hours. Listen, we're going to stop for fucking...
It's right there. We'll go to Termini's. We'll get the cookies. We'll swing by John's to get a sandwich.
What's going on in your world, Tarzan? You're making pizzas now?
Making homemade pizzas. I had some one of the families from Children's Hospital over yesterday, so it was a great day.
You're becoming like an old Italian.
That's exactly it. I was
Next
listening
thing
to
you know,
Dean Martin and making pizza on a
Next thing you know,
Sunday.
you're going to get a little money, you're going to buy a house. I'll go over to your house, you'll have the fucking boots on. You'll be out there with the hose, with a
Planting
cigar
tomatoes
in
in the back. Yeah, that's all I want out of life.
How crazy is that you would become a little Italian man? Like every neighborhood has that Italian man.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, cleaning the driveway with the hose.
And
That Italian guy.
you shrink an inch and a half.
Exactly. Every
Like
year.
Mr. Luna, you were bigger last year, weren't you? Nah, kid, you're getting taller yourself. Nah, Mr. Luna. No. You're shrinking, dog. Something's not right.
Is Mr. Luna a real guy?
No. I'm just thinking.
Such a great
I'm
name.
just thinking about all the Italian. When I was a kid, before the New Moon Chinese restaurant moved to 29th Street and Bergen Lane Avenue, across from my mom's bar, there was a very old Italian delicatessen. The other word. There's another word for it. Not delicatessen.
Butcher shop?
No, it's an Italian, and they call it something. And my earliest memories was I would torment my mom till she walked me across the street. When you walked in on the right-hand side, they had the counter with the cold cuts and the cheese hanging, and
yeah.
it smelled really bad.
Yeah.
But the vegetables were all there in baskets on both sides.
And the little candies and stuff.
But in the back, they had the boxes of little candies.
Yeah.
That you just shove your hand.
The
and put the
greatest.
thing is, The one guy looked like Clemenza. The one brother was built just like Clemenza, round head. I could still see him now. He was 3-4 years old, bro.
Yeah.
I could still see these guys. And his brother was an Italian who looked like you. And they both worked together. And every time I go in there, my mother would make sandwiches. I'm a big mortadella guy.
I love it.
Because of that place. I still remember them handing me the mortadella, and they
Give you the sample?
They give you the
Oh,
sample.
the greatest.
And my mom would get Cuban crackers. Ooh. And you put mortadella and Cuban crackers with that cheese that comes in the red container, Gouda.
Oh, yeah.
Not the smoked Gouda, but the regular Gouda. You put that on a Cuban cracker. Are you fucking kidding me or what?
It doesn't get better.
And after my mom died, I didn't really eat that Cuban food anymore. And then one night I went to Union City in '85. The night before I left New Jersey to go to Colorado, I'll never forget, I went down there, and my friend's uncle ran the bar. And he asked me if I was hungry, and I go, yeah. And he gave me mortadella and crackers. And he was Irish.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, God damn.
That's a little bit of a sign, though.
Yeah, no, it was a sign. My wife gets mortadella, and I get pissed the fuck off. She'll get mortadella once a month. It'll be in the refrigerator, and I'll see it and try to avoid it. But I have a few fucking toasts of the reefer, and I just give in.
Calls your name.
Listen, at this point, I'll eat like 3 pieces of mortadella with 3 saltine crackers. Delicious. Just regular fucking Ritz crackers. Not Ritz. Ritz sucks with mortadella.
Simple. Simple is the best for everything.
But that's what I remember about those Italian guys. They were short. Like, I still remember. I don't remember the name of the deli and that all. Up the corner was Pontecorvo's.
Could it have been gastronomia? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Something
That's
like
what it's
that.
saying.
Yeah,
gastronomia or something.
Yeah, they had a different name for
right.
it. It was like it's something because they sell something. It makes them. It's not liquor. But when I would go to Christy Lorenzo's house in the summers, he lived in close to Marlboro. I would exit 17 off the Parkway there, and when you come up to that busy street, 34, 35, there was one of those places, a trattoria.
Oh, yeah.
One of those places, and they hung cheeses in there. It was, to me, it's a fucking deli, but they got the peppers stuffed with mortadella cheese.
Oh,
the
yeah,
green
and the
peppers,
prosciutto shooters.
the prosciutto shooters,
Yeah.
and all that shit. Yeah.
Would you guys ever live in the Italian section? I've lived in the Italian. I lived there for 2 years, and I still miss it. I would move back there
North end of
instantly. Oh
Boston.
my god, it was just so much nicer, so much. And I get the benefit of having a house and wanting to not have neighbors.
Yep.
But for me, if just thinking about you, I can see you thriving in like just any Italian neighborhood. Like I just feel like you'd like own the neighborhood, be like high fiving people.
I love all the old people that
Yeah.
sit down. You have a coffee with them. They tell you a story. I love that. I love the food. Like North End, I stopped and I remember getting a coffee there, and some guy lived in the neighborhood for like 50 years. He was 80 years old. He was fantastic. Just he opened the vault, started telling stories.
Oh yeah.
Every restaurant was great. I love neighborhoods like that.
You know, I was telling my wife the other day, I would love to find, like my brother Joe Koch. I was friends with this dude in Boulder. He was a baker on Monday nights. And when I first got into comedy, I would perform on Tuesdays. So Monday nights, he was a cook, a chef during the week. But Monday nights, he was in charge of all the desserts. He would cover for somebody.
Okay.
So I'd go there at about 11 and meet him. And all his mistakes, I'd taste everything all
That's
night.
great.
But I would sit there all night writing jokes. And one day he came to me, he goes, you know what, man, I'm going to move back to fucking Mississippi. And he went down and he opened up a bagel shop. They never saw a bagel in Mississippi.
Yeah. Did he do all right with it, or just they didn't know?
It's a fucking world. He ended up buying 17 houses. The bagel shop grew. He just recently sold it.
Wow.
Because it was enough. He did 20 years, 5-4 in the morning, making bagels, training people in a college town.
That's great.
I think it's Mississippi State. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But that's the thing, to bring a culinary to a place where nobody has it. You know exactly what you want. Listen, I want 4 tables with 4 people. The most I want my restaurant is 16 people.
Yep.
And I'm going to put a table in the back just in case if Lee comes to town, so you can sit next to the cooks and sample the food. And that's it.
Yep.
And it's very simple. You're not looking to be... Once you know what you really want, it makes life so much simpler. I'm walking into these businesses lately, and I'm no mathematician, but I got to sit there and go, how much money does it cost to keep this restaurant alive.
Yeah, the overhead costs.
The overhead cost in half these places, the square footage in half these cities, I was in New York last week, and I walked back from Jimmy Norton and whatever show. I want to thank him for putting me on the show, Sam Roberts show. And I always take a little walk. And I look at these places and I go, how many fucking grilled cheese sandwiches
Do you have to sell?
Do you have to sell to fucking, I went to a deli that I always go to when I do Jim Norton. I love it. 50-yard walk down the corner. Ham, tail egg with some roasted peppers on a Kaiser roll with an orangina. Are you fucking kidding
So
me?
good.
With the emphasis on orangina. You following me? You with me? And then on the way out, you're stopping there again and you get an egg salad sandwich or a fucking chicken salad sandwich
I made
with a
chicken
tomato.
salad last
Come
week.
on, dog.
So good.
On a Kaiser roll, and you get in the cab, and it drives you over to the fucking ferry, and on the way there, you blast the fucking chicken. Oh, dog.
So good.
I pay the $9, I go over the fucking ferry, but I'm sitting there going, I have a dream for a restaurant, but before I could open up my dream every month, I'm 30 G's in the hole because of my location. And it's got to be for 30 G's, it's got to have parking.
Yep.
They got to have a lot of things. On top of that, I'm going to have payroll. So I'm minus 37,000. And that's, I don't even know. I'm just throwing numbers up there. I know that it's expensive to rent.
It's such a tough
because I have
business.
friends that have jiu-jitsu schools, and they tell me what the number is, and I fucking shit my pants.
It's crazy.
That's always something that blows my mind. Whenever I drive by like a coffee store or like a bagels, a little bit you can have good and bad bagels, but businesses that don't really have any like room for being a better business, I don't like it blows my mind that people actually go and start like it seems like there's too much competition. If you have something you're talented at, go for it. But just to open up another liquor store is like, geez.
Okay, if you go down to Hunger right here, and before you hit Magnolia, there's a little coffee shop 2 doors down from the church. If they're lucky, they sell 10 coffees a fucking day.
Yeah, how do they
Because
stay
how
in
many
business?
people could actually walk and get coffee? You know what? They hustle. I've been watching that because that's my stupidity in life. When somebody opens, like, okay, a couple months ago, a wing and curry place opened on fucking on whatever. I was excited because they had a sign that said "Wings coming soon."
Okay.
I go, listen, Lee and I don't have a place to go sit and chit chat. It's around the corner from the office.
Yeah.
But then the sign came up and it was like wings, but curry. I called Lee right away and I go, I'll never walk in there.
How do you combine
It's horrible
those two?
foot traffic. It's a horrible combination. This is what I look at as an econ major. I know it sounds stupid to a lot of people. I like to see the rise and the rise of a business, and then if it falls, I want to know why.
Why?
And you put together that it was a bad location. And it's just a stupid personal hobby of mine. Some people think about the world being flat. Others think about whatever. This is what I think about.
Yeah.
You look at that coffee shop, and he got information about it. It's been there for 2 years. I've been walking with Mercy. She's 4. I stopped in there many a time and got a coffee with my wife. Coffee was good. They're Spanish. They're very decent people. They had a child. He's in there.
Mom and pop.
Mom and pop.
So that's
But if you notice, they're building a hotel right next to it.
Is that a hotel?
That's a hotel. So that fucked them. That
good for
was
him.
it was looking good. It slowed down a little bit. But right now they're putting all this North Hollywood drive around. That's it.
the rent around there's going through
the
the
rent
roof.
is going through the roof.
This is the hottest
They're
neighborhood in
building up
LA
over
right
here.
now.
But let's pretend Lee had a good thing. He sees a coffee shop. He sees that it's small, and he sees that there's no growth potential in the business. Okay, when you open up any type of food industry, you're already in like a 30% range of failure, and I think that's speaking moderately. I'm no restaurant type of guy. I think that sometimes people go somewhere and they eat this. I had a meal in India, and I think I'm going to bring the chef over and open up the same. And it just. And with restaurants, it's like a glamour thing. Like the critics have to like it. And it's got to become a hot spot. Like Eat. We go for breakfast from time to time. My wife, we go to either Denny's or Eat. We always mix it up. So you look at these places and you go, no, whatever to grow. Well, maybe I want to be the best product I want to be and give people, I know how big I want to be. This guy had a vision when he opened up the business. He knew he didn't want to expand. He probably worked as an engineer for 20 years.
Right.
All right. He saw the corporate side of life. He put away some money, and one day he said, guess what I'm going to do? I live on 222 Smith Avenue. I'm going to fucking open up a coffee shop on 52 Smith Avenue.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Get why? I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to be in there all day. It gives me a chance to do something with my life. I still get a pension. And I get away from my wife for 8 fucking hours. And I get to create whatever the fuck I want, coffee. And if people come in, they come in. If not, I don't really lose money. I need to sell 2 coffees a day and I break even.
Yep.
But at least I'm doing something with my life. You follow me? Lee? Some people know exactly what they want. You know, some people just open up a fucking place. You know, nobody would dream of. It's amazing the places that you see open up and you go, that's not going to work. And you try to be positive. You already know by the name or the gimmick.
Yep.
It sounded like a good idea, but it's tough to sell cupcakes. That's a lot of cupcakes to pay rent
to cover that. And there's certain locations that are just the kiss of death. No matter what they put in there, it just doesn't work. Or the parking sucks. Or it's a pain in the ass with the red light.
And you never know till you're in it.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, you never know till you're in the fucking game.
But didn't you guys have in the town when I grew up, there was one spot that was a new restaurant every 8 months.
Yep.
Every 8 months, and it was like, I'm surprised. Like the real estate agents must just be lying to people. I just don't like. It's weird how that happens.
It's like a pregnant woman. It's like a woman that's gonna get married. She sees what she wants to see.
Yeah.
It's like when you shoot a movie, and while you're shooting the movie, you think this is an Oscar winner, and after you watch it and the smoke settles and the ether goes away, you're like, ooh, what was I thinking? You know, how many times have people come up to you? Didn't we have somebody come in here once and say, I got a new show. I've been in the business for 20 years, and this is the best new show. Lee, you remember? He goes, this is the best new show that I've worked on. And 3 weeks later, the show was canceled. Was he lying to us? No. He
believed it at that time.
He believed the ether while he was there, the shooting. Sometimes people believe their own ether.
Yeah, they want it so bad that they don't see the reality.
They don't see the reality.
Like, I knew 2 guys that opened up. It was honestly the best pizza I've ever had in Los Angeles. But their location was garbage. There was 0 parking. 0 parking. It didn't last. It couldn't last.
Listen, the best pizza in Hollywood is at Vito's.
Yeah, I agree.
On La Brea. You know what the chances of you getting parking there?
0 to none.
0 to none. I'd love to take you, Lee, and go to Vito's and get a slice, but you're not going to get parking there. You got to go to 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What about up here, Skinny Kitchen? They literally just expanded, and within 6 months, they closed up here. And I'm pretty sure the West Hollywood one is closed. It's crazy.
You know, but Skinny Kitchen sounds great on paper.
Yeah,
when Lee came in here and said it was healthy options, until he told me what they had.
Right.
And that's the fucking problem. You know, there's a place called Lemonade.
Yes.
My wife fucking hates it. My wife thinks it's total garbage.
Yeah,
I don't know.
gross.
I've never been. I love Lemonade. I see Lemonade.
It's like all kinds of salads and stuff like that, right?
Becky loves it. Everybody has different opinions. You know what I'm saying? You look at those places, and you say to yourself, how the fuck did I just pay $15 for a salad?
That's everything in the city.
But you don't know till you get home that night and go, wait a second. I paid $15 for a bowl of lettuce and 2 pieces of chicken. You know how many salads you could get? How big is a bag
at
of lettuce?
Home. Yeah,
those
you could
bags
make
of lettuce.
10 of them.
How much are those bags?
Probably $2.
$4 and 2 chicken cutlets. But you're paying these people $15. But you also have to imagine that half of that is going to their fucking rent.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Half of that, I don't even see the profit margin.
There was a great documentary called Deli Man about the rise of all the great Jewish delis over the last 150 years and how they're all going out of business because the cost of goods everything's too expensive. Your margins are so small that you could have 1,000 customers in a day and still not make.
I could go to where my wife is from. The town over is Bradford, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. There's a mall where there's a Chinese buffet. There's a Walmart. But guess what? In that strip mall, there's 4 places that are wide open.
Right.
I could go in and tell the guy, listen, cut one of these in half. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a coffee shop here. Lattes, chocolate white mocha, the shit that the Coffee Bean sells, the Black Forest.
Yep.
Maybe, but keep it simple. What I'm really pushing is the regular coffee.
Yep.
A little bit of cream and 2 scoops of sugar. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to sit here with syrups and all this greasy shit. But I'm also going to have Danishes for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm also going to have an egg sandwich for them, which the profit margin,
Through the roof.
Through the roof. An egg is what?
25 cents.
A
10
fucking
cents.
bun is what? 10? And what's a slice of cheese? And what's a fucking, that's it. And a piece of Taylor ham.
Yep.
And you could do it $4.95 and throw in a cup of coffee. I could sell 200 of those in the daytime. That's my specialty in life.
Yep.
$4.95 and a 1-egg sandwich made by Uncle Joey on the grill right here. Fresh New Jersey style with the aluminum foil. And I cut it with the aluminum foil like a fucking doctor.
That'd be great.
That's the way you do it. But to have that, I would have to have sufficient coverage in the bank and time, and I would give myself time because of the things I've gotten involved in my life. I would give myself time. I knew that it would take time. I'd have to join a social media thing.
Yeah, marketing.
Get
You
out
have to
there
spend a
with a
lot of money in
sign.
advertising.
Well, not even a lot of money. It's just being visible.
Yeah.
Being visible and convincing people to come in for a cup of coffee and not charge them $4.50.
Right.
I'm not pushing $4 coffee here. I'm keeping it simple. I
Well,
believe
you
in
would be
keeping-
great in any of those businesses
No,
because
I
they're
love it.
personality driven.
Yeah, they're personality
So people
driven.
would come in just to hang out with
Sit
you.
down, get a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
talk shit, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
I
you
love
would kill
something
that.
like
You would be so good at
the
that.
last 10 years of my life, I would love to do something like that. I think it would be, for a guy like me, I love it. You know, I'd love to open up a Cuban restaurant, but it would be one thing a day.
Ooh.
I would be open for breakfast, for ham and eggs, or Cuban whatever breakfast. I'd make up a Cuban bowl or whatever. I'd have like eggs, a steak, white rice, a 8-ounce steak, and 2 eggs fried on top of it. And you cut it like that and let the yolk go all over the steak and the white rice. That's Cuban stuff. Will I
Sounds
eat it?
delicious.
Not in a million years. And I'll throw you 3 fried bananas. You know, one of those
plantains.
things. I'll throw you a Cuban egg sandwich for breakfast. And that's breakfast. And then for lunch, make one specialty a day. Arroz con pollo or leche. On Friday, make some type of fish. You know, beef tongue on Thursday. And it changes every day. And when it's done, it's done. When it's done, it's done. You're not going to come in here and go, well, do you have it without the peppers? Listen, this is how it owns.
One of the best pizza places in Philly, they only make so many doughs every day. You got to call in advance to reserve your dough, and when they're done, they're done.
They're done,
That's
they're
it.
done.
Goodbye.
That's
We're done.
it.
We're close.
We don't have time to play games with people
Yep.
because you don't have nothing to lose. You're not looking to be Johnny Bananas. You're at the side of a road in Tennessee somewhere, and you got to get rednecks to come in and go, man, this is the best egg sandwich I've ever had in my life. You know, like,
Exactly.
you know, yeah, it is. And all of a sudden you start talking to them. They tell you they're World War II vet and they hate Japanese people. You fucking nod your head. You know, you don't agree, but you nod your head. You know what I'm saying? You don't say you hate Japanese people, but you go, yeah, you're right. And they come in every day for a cup of coffee, give you an ear beating. And then they go home, and then they start gathering there. Next thing you know, you got 20 old guys gathering, talking
Oh,
shit,
the best.
drinking coffee.
Old
tipping
guys
you.
go out for breakfast like
Yeah,
it's a
every
bar.
day,
They're
yeah.
bars for old dudes.
But they're always looking for 15% off. The old geezers, they catch you with that sunrise breakfast.
Yeah.
That kills you. You know
There
what
was
I'm
a place a block away from Gold's in Venice. They would do 50% off omelets from like 5:30 in the morning to 6:30. All the old guys would be in there at 5:45.
I was gonna say, were they there at 5:25 with their
Yeah, waiting to get
hands around
knocking
their
on the window, papers under their arms.
ready to go in like suits?
It's so good.
It's tremendous, and that's what I would do.
And you know how great your podcast would be, just interviewing those old timers. That would
I would
be the
be doing no
best.
podcast.
You'd just be done.
Done. I do a little stand up on Wednesdays for lunch. You know
Oh
what
my
I'm saying?
gosh!
3 people.
I'll work the grill for you.
No,
Hire
I don't
me.
need
I'll
no,
go.
no employees. I'm a one-man show. I'm like that strip club in fucking Portland I went to in Oregon years ago with Josh Wolf. The chick did everything. She was the DJ, the hostess. She took your money at the door. She was the doorman. She was the bouncer. It was a one-man operation.
She's playing the drums with her foot.
It was fucking
recorded.
hysterical. Yeah, that's it. That's really it. You fry. How long does it take? It's the most personal thing in the world. You throw in your eggs. You talk a little bit. How do you want your eggs, Henry? I want them sunny side up. Don't give me a bun today, Joey.
Yeah.
Just give me 10% off. You get dick. You know, cream cheese and jelly on a roll, and you reintroduce culture. You know, you reintroduce a menu to people. As we say all the time, you impose your will, Lee. This is when you impose your will. You say, I have the best this. This is... Lee said it best. We were talking about the 800-pound man that I watched the 1.5-hour supersize special on Friday night. It was one of the most interesting things I ever watched. I mean, that show is so fucking sad. Every time I watch my 600-pound life, I watch it and I do push-ups. I do fucking sit-ups
As you're
during the
watching
commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, you just feel bad. But the guy was eating 8 pizzas a day. And he weighed 740 and his brother weighed 6.
Ugh.
600 pounds. And the brother had the shit on his legs. And the brother was born with a crooked leg.
Ugh.
This guy had the things on his leg or whatnot. I don't even know what the point of this fucking story is. I'm telling you about the fucking food he was eating. He was eating 8 pizzas a day. What the fuck was I going to tell you?
You're talking about imposing your will. This is the best.
Now we're talking about, I don't know, the Armenian doctor. I have no fucking idea. This is why I'm lucky I have you tonight, because you don't get high. Thank you.
I'm
You
just
never
happy
got
to
high?
be here. I got, definitely one time Ari and Renazizi hotboxed me when I was driving to get Chinese food. I almost killed us, and I was just laughing. There's a Chinese food place that stays open late in Reseda. It's not bad. It's not good. The vibe is tremendous. But they hotboxed me there. And then once when we were in Denver, Ari gave me a joint. And I took one hit and I fell asleep for 2 hours. I was out to the world.
I forgot what I was going to fucking tell you about the fucking 800-pound man. But anyway, who gives a fuck?
You just said something that I wanted to talk about. Imposing your will. I was thinking, going back to a kid, I never really ask. I'm not really good at asking for what I want. Is that something that you guys have gotten better at and asking, and I know you guys are improving in your careers, asking for roles. I don't know. Is that?
You want me to help? Want me to tell you what creates that mental thing of imposing your will once you've known you've done the work? Once you've known you've done the work, that's when you get so confident of what you do and you're so assertive on it. Listen, Lee, I have the same problems that you have. I deal with the same things you have. I don't like asking for money.
Yeah.
And you always think that, you know what, I'll give this person a break, but I'll make it up here. You know, there's always these little mental blocks in your head. And then you realize that these people are taking advantage of you. They're taking advantage of you. It's not even fair anymore. You know what I'm saying? I had a situation last week where we asked for more money for a certain thing. This is after they asked us to help them with their slogan or some shit. And we said, yeah, we'll help you, but you have to pay us. And then I asked them for a rate, and the guy's like, no. And I'm thinking to myself, so wait a second. When you were paying us peanuts and we were doing great, you never called us and said, this is what you
Here's
got
the extra
coming to
money,
you.
right?
Now that we're asking you, you don't want to do it. Guess what? I don't want to do business with you.
You proved who you were.
And it imposed my will. I did my work. I get up early every week. I look for music. I have to talk to guests. You know, I have to get here. There's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of work that goes into everything. You know, I bust Lee's balls. I bust Lee's balls because I was Lee at 28 also. And I know the mistakes you make and the stupid moves that we do. I mean, I did such a stupid move, I ended in prison at 25. So I goof on Lee, not to goof on Lee because I get off on goofing on Lee. I goof on Lee so Lee sees the shortcut. But you know what? Nobody ever sees the shortcut.
You got to learn the hard
fucking
way.
Late. And it would break my heart to see Lee get hurt in any way. I consider this kid like a son. I'd love to stab him and put him in the trunk of my car like Billy Bats from time to time. But on the other hand, I never want anything bad to happen to him in any situation. You know, we're fucking horrible when we're 20. You know,
you're an
we
idiot.
think we have the world by the balls and all this stuff. And something dawned on me this weekend, Saturday night. It's so weird that this type of shit really irritates the fuck out of me because I don't understand if people understand. Okay? I watched something and he said this is what turns players into kings, and it dawned on me for a long time what the expression made. For years, I toted around Hollywood. For years, I toted around Hollywood like everybody else tiptoes around Hollywood. I didn't want to piss nobody off. I didn't really want to ask for more money. I didn't want to do this. And then one day you snap. Something really happens in your brain and you cover all your bases and you work harder. But it's called sacrifice. You know, I don't think people, especially people like Lee, know what sacrifice is. Sacrifice is a big word to get to the next level. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you. You have a mom? Steve's mom?
Yeah.
Is your mom alive?
Yes, thank God.
Is your dad alive?
Thank God.
You have your brothers, your siblings?
Yep.
Where do they live?
3,000 miles away.
That's sacrifice.
Absolutely.
You don't need this. You don't need on a Monday night to be sitting between a Jew and a Cuban getting tormented in fucking North Hollywood, California to go to the Comedy Store to pick up a check for $15.
Absolutely.
Your parents married, your grandparents migrated here to this country for you to be a better thing.
Yep.
Your brother became a dentist. I'm not putting
Yep.
you down.
No, you're right.
I'm not saying these. But you sacrificed
Absolutely.
this. You slept with fat fucking James in his apartment, smelling his fat fucking feet in his
For
ass.
4.5 years.
Which were worse than those Jews on the plane.
I didn't have a
smelling
car.
my
I
ass.
took the bus for 6 years.
It's
I didn't
called
have a car.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice is when all
3
your
jobs.
friends go home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And
And
you
I'm
have to
working at the
spend
Hollywood gym night shift.
It bothers
Graveyard
me that nobody understands that. You know, I had a dear friend die 3 weeks ago. Not dear.
sorry.
No. It was a friendship that I loved dearly, and alcohol and mental health took us somewhere else. It's a very sad thing. I had a blocker on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you know, she was my best friend in the world. I had a blocker on my phone. I got too many things in my life for you to be calling me 18 times while I'm on stage.
Right.
To break my fucking balls. And I got a little slack for it for not going to the memorial this week. Okay? But I also remember where these people came from. These people moved to Colorado, to Los Angeles in a group. They went 15 deep out of Houston, Texas. But nobody wanted to sacrifice. They didn't want to sacrifice the most important things for the most important thing, the
Right.
reason why you're here.
Yeah.
You know, before I got on stage Saturday night, there was these great, funny guys, and they're like, hey, man, we brought you reefer, we brought you this, where are we going tonight? And I go, I can't fucking go nowhere. I got a 5:45 flight to New York, and they're like, can't you call your wife and put it off for one? I told them, I go, this has nothing to do with my wife. I don't give a fuck about my wife. This has to do with me. Because that means I gotta fly at 12 to get home at 6. I'm not gonna
And the
have any
day's
sleep.
gone.
My kid, plus I got an audition Monday morning.
Right.
You know, oh no, I'm just gonna steam it and get off the plane and go to CBS Radford. And after I stayed out with fucking people smoking dope and talking about nothing,
Right.
because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing, is talking
You're
about
absolutely
nothing. And I did this. I wasted that time for fucking 30 years. I'm not gonna sit here and get on a high horse and tell you, no. I wasted enough fucking time. But in this town, once I took control of me,
Yeah.
I always sacrificed.
Yeah.
I made the biggest sacrifice. I looked at a 5-year-old little girl one day in a park, and I told her that I'm really thinking of going away for a while, that I think it would be better. And she spit in my face, my daughter. My daughter that's 27 years old. When I told her about my dream, she spit in my face on a bicycle. And that was the biggest sacrifice I made. I made a sacrifice to say, I'll give up my daughter to do something with my life, okay? And then I came here, and while these people were all drinking early,
Yeah.
even though I was a junkie coke fiend, I could hold off till 11:30, 12. And do
I
a spot at the
remember
store.
you doing late night sets and being up. Call me once because you found something on the breakdowns. You were waking up early, going over the breakdowns on your own.
No, I was an animal. And I didn't go to weddings, and I didn't go to wakes, and I didn't do a lot of things.
Yep.
And I'm sure along the way I disappointed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I didn't attend their wedding or whatever function they had, or because they had a party. You know, when this changed, it's because my head changed.
Explain that.
My head changed. It snapped. You realize, but this happened way before Mercy. This was happening 2 years before I met Lee.
Okay.
I always sacrificed. Let's get something wrong.
Yeah, you
Let's
were
get
always
something
paying
straight.
dues.
I always sacrificed. I sacrificed holidays. Let me tell you something. This weekend when I went home and I saw my friends, and I saw like Steve Avillo and Alan Pasquale and fucking Carlos and Abe Garcia, I realized something. That yes, I'm very happy out here, but I'm very lonely out here.
Yes.
They're a different type of breed. This
Yes.
is what home is all about.
I agree with you. I
Those
know
kids
exactly
I
what you
grew up
mean.
with, and
You can't replace that.
they
Somebody
can't-
that
you
knew
can
what you
ne-
were at Halloween
Yeah.
in second grade.
No.
They remember what your house smelled like on a Sunday.
Yeah, you cannot replace that. So I see all these guys, and when I got on the plane, I go, that's what I sacrifice. And don't get me wrong, I made a lot of mistakes to force myself to leave there in a subtle way. I wanted to leave there like I couldn't. I was embarrassed. I
Right.
wouldn't have ever became anything there. I knew I
Yeah,
had to
I
leave.
had the same feeling.
But the sacrifice I had was to lose my friends, to not have them in my life. Timmy Holloway, those type of people.
The weddings you missed, the
The
birthdays you
weddings,
missed,
the
the
birthdays,
christenings,
the
the first
parties.
Holy
I missed all
Communions.
that shit.
Yeah.
So that was the first sacrifice I made. Then I sacrificed my relationship with my daughter. I knew when I got in that car and I left Boulder, I wasn't coming back. And deep in my heart, I knew that I would just get in trouble there. I would just end up in a bad position there. And it was time for me to cleanse myself of all that. And if this relationship, I prayed to God, I wanted to prove to her that I was worth something.
The long-term goal was
The
bigger than
long-term
the short-term
goal. Yeah.
satisfaction.
Absolutely.
They say the secret to success is delaying gratification. And you know if you stayed there, you couldn't be the person you would be proud
not
of.
at all. Not at all.
So then you wanted to do something with your life to show her how much you really do love her. That's what I'm getting from it. You got to do that sometimes.
It was fucking real. Like, it was just something that, you know, I sacrificed. I remember, you know, Josh Wolf, dear friend of mine, all those years had parties on Saturday nights with his family, and Scott Wolf and all these other actors and the singers from the Counting Crows. That didn't mean anything to me.
Right.
I was at the Comedy Store. You know what? I had to get $50. So I would go down and do Felipe's room and then get to the Comedy Store for my 11:45 on Saturday. And then,
Yep.
you know, you sacrificed. And I partied. I'm not going to lie to you that, but even though I partied, I made my auditions. I took care of things. I took care of things the best I could.
Yeah.
After I got off the coke, like in 2009, before I married Terry, is where this picture became clearer to me that I even had to sacrifice more. Like, I had to sacrifice more. Like, I went to Weight Watchers. I joined karate with the brothers in 2007. I was going there. I was 380 when I walked in there. I remember doing horse stances and my knees would fucking burn. They would make you do these dragon stances where you drag one foot and kneel on this one. I would have to go home and put 2 bags of fucking ice on my knees. But I knew that these were the little sacrifices I had to make to get to where I wanted to be. It was the weirdest fucking thing.
Was that just like an intuition that you had? Like it was kind of
I
like
went back
God
to my
talking to you?
karate days. I went back to how successful I was when I attended karate. From the ages of 6 to the age of 15.
Wow, you did it your whole childhood.
Yeah, when I dropped out of karate was when I got left back in the 7th grade.
Mind, body, soul.
That
all of it.
reconfirmed everything. So I knew for me to get back to my mental state, I had to pick a martial art. I looked for a Kempo school. I couldn't find one. So the best kept secret in Hollywood was this guy, this style of Kung Fu mixed with Kempo, the Hawaiian Kempo. And it just made me get loose. I just went to get my day started. And I said to myself, for me to do this and be successful, nothing could take the place of this unless I'm picking up an envelope.
Yes. Build your foundation.
So I went back to The War of Art, The Art of War, whatever that book is. I went back to, if I'm not doing something good for me, I'm in the house writing, and there's no resistance. The only way I can get out of Kung Fu is if I'm making money. Or it's something to make money, not to meet somebody about a script.
I
Everything
find myself wasting so much
everything
time.
gets pushed back. Everything gets pushed back for this. Nothing is as important as that. And I started with that. If I could do it just on Mondays, then I would go Mondays and Tuesdays. And I wasn't on the road then.
Yeah.
So I would go 3 days a week. By Friday, my knees would be swollen. Then I popped the one knee and I got knee surgery and I went to weight, you know. But you sacrifice so many little things along the way. There was a lot of times, yes, I wanted to go meet Faberman and this guy and go get sandwiches. And you don't do that anymore because that time is for writing now.
Yeah.
And you know that time is dictated to writing. That's what that time is about. You know, tonight after dinner, for about 35 minutes, I always go in and I look over the book.
That's great.
And I write 2 sentences. And even though I want to sit there with my wife and watch World News Tonight, there's nothing on World News Tonight that's going to change my life anymore. The first 15 minutes are about Russia or something stupid that's not going to do anything at all to me. But it's amazing that people think they're really going to get ahead in this life without making sacrifices. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy how you have to, you know what? Yes, On paper, life is Monday through Friday. Well, that's a great thought. That's a great fucking thought. That's a great thought. But when you're 44, you're going to find yourself $30,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah.
On a fixed fucking income. And if you get a flat tire, you're done for the fucking month.
Yep.
Because you leave your credit cards just enough room for emergencies and all that shit.
Yep.
And how do you know? Because it happened to me.
Yep.
When these 9 to 5 motherfuckers, especially from the ages of 20 to 35, unless you're making a lot of fucking loot, there's no 9 to 5 in my world. I don't understand that shit. You know, and again, that's what I had to learn the hard way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that we think society, no. You know, when you're first training in your job, remember you work Saturdays, and it sucks when you're a kid.
Yep.
It sucks working Saturdays when you're a kid. Especially like going out on Friday night and drinking some vodka and tonics and
Waking up hungover.
coming in late to your house. It sucks waking up when you're in the fucking a junior in high school to go sell paint or work at fucking Foot
Construction
Locker.
site or something.
Yeah, it sucks. But then for a while, you're young and you're a football fan and you're like, well, I'll never work on Sundays. Well, think again, bitch. That shit's going to sail pretty fucking soon, you know?
Especially in high school, like the jobs you can get in high school. I worked at a CVS. I worked at a movie theater. You have to be there early. What about, like, I can't imagine working at a coffee place where you have to be there by, like, 3 in the morning?
They open up this one here at 4:30. The drive-thru opens.
Wow.
So what time do you think people get there to open it up?
3:45.
Oh, my God.
Turn all the buttons on. Yeah, but you figure you're out of there by 10 if you're a student. That's a sacrifice. If you're a student, like, you should be busy all the time.
Yep.
Like, if you're a student, a real student, and you're putting yourself through, or you have a couple loans and your parents are helping you, you got to have a job. I would work at Starbucks from 4 to fucking... And what do you sacrifice? Your stupid nightlife.
It's amazing how you get the one puzzle piece and it makes other ones fall in line.
Right in fucking
falls in line because now you can't make as many dumb decisions because now you have the responsibility of being up early. All those things start to change your life. You get karate down, and then your body starts getting stronger, and then your mind gets stronger. And it all works together.
And
it's amazing.
And it's so weird because you'll say to yourself, well, I really can't do that because this is what I do on those days. And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Doing what I was doing didn't bring me anything.
Yeah.
Until you really started sacrificing. And listen, a couple of weeks ago I missed a wedding of like a sister of mine.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? I had to think about my time. I had to think about my age. I had to think about what was going on that Monday. I had to meet them Sunday and discuss the pitch. The pitch was at 9:30 in the morning. I had to leave at fucking 5:45. I mean, there were so many things involved. I sacrificed the wedding. You know, I mean, it was always things like that with me, that I would force myself not to do something I would really enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
You said something earlier, and it didn't hurt my feelings, but you said, like, people like Lee, I don't think understand what it is to sacrifice. And for a second, I was like,
No.
I know
Your
you-
age. Your age group.
Right, and
Your age
I
group.
understand that.
Your age group.
But I started thinking about it, like, there is a point, I think, every 6 months, a year, where you're like, I am sacrificing, but not sacrificing enough. So, you can take different things out, like the binge watching Orange is the New Black 9 episodes in a day. That you can't do that anymore.
No. Nobody ever said that. That's not a sacrifice. That's a leisure. And for you to entertain, you have to entertain. It's when you do that 6 days a fucking week.
Right, okay.
Okay, it's when you do that 6 days a week. For me to sit on Sundays and watch 60 Minutes and what's the show with Pete Holmes?
Crashing.
Okay, I watch Crashing. I watch the show. You know why I watch television on Sunday nights? I earned it. I did 2 podcasts. I traveled halfway across the country.
Yeah.
I did 5 shows. I talked to 200 people per show. I took my pictures, and I sacrificed 3 days without my family.
Yep.
When I get off that plane, I do the same thing every time. I go to the room. I set up my sleep apnea machine. I throw my dirty laundry in the fucking hamper for my wife so she doesn't have to see it. I put my suitcase away. I jump in the fucking shower. I go. I set the notebook up for the week. I know exactly what my schedule is going to be for the week. I answer a few emails, and any unnecessary things I got to do, I write out my thing, and I don't sit in that fucking office the rest of the goddamn day.
You need that.
I earned that. I earn that on Sunday. And even then, I won't let myself do stupid things. I'll sit in the backyard with Mercy, and I'll kick the fucking soccer ball, and I'll watch fucking... I'll take a nap from 2 to 4, and then when I wake up at 4, I'll watch an episode of Sons of Anarchy.
You have to do that, though.
Or I'll watch the New England Patriot game, a quarter. I'll call you and tell you.
Yeah.
I can't sit there if I didn't fucking earn it. And only you know when you earned it. I did 2 podcasts. I wrote fucking jokes. I went to jiu-jitsu twice.
Yes.
I did a drill class. I drove Mercy to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I picked her up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I ate 2,000 milligrams on Monday. I ate 2,000 milligrams on Thursday. I worked out in the hotel Friday and Saturday.
It's incredible.
I left the hotel room and went to the coffee shop and forced myself to write for an hour and a half on both fucking days. Sunday, when I get off that plane, it's the same every fucking Sunday. If you call me on Sunday with a story about this or this, you're in no danger of me going. I cannot go to your fucking function, or I'm not going to do a set because I did everything on that fucking checklist. That's the only way. When I watch TV, there's a footstool. It's to the side. For me to get up my feet on that footstool, I got to work for it.
That's great.
I got to work for it. And that's it. And I don't think... I've read it. I've heard about it. How the younger generation doesn't understand the sacrifice. I just read this the other day, something about, they were picking on millennials, which everybody fucking picks on. It's no fair. You know what I'm saying? But no, everybody picks on fucking millennials. But millennials are young.
Right.
So you don't call them millennials, just say
kids.
They're fucking 25-year-olds. Yeah. And I always ask myself, Joey, what the fuck were you doing at 25? I wasn't doing what Lee was doing. I was selling cars and making $7,000 a month, but I was also snorting an 8-ball of coke, and I had a monkey on my back. I couldn't control it. How uncontrollable it was, I put a machine gun to somebody and thought I was going to get away with kidnapping them and taking a kilo of coke. That's how delusional I was. So I understand the 20s. Don't call them millennials. Don't do that to these fucking idiots. When everybody's 25, they're fucking confused.
Idiots. Yeah.
We're fucking idiots. And we accept that shit.
Yeah.
I've said 1,000 times. The 30s are to clean up the mess you made
in
the
your
fucking
20s. Yep.
Plain and fucking simple. So no, Lee, I wasn't, I was not insulting you at all. I was comparing it to your age.
Oh no, and even if you were to me, because there are things that I have to do, and even when you do earn it, I think there's a certain thing like that you choose to do. I was thinking last week, I don't really have a hobby, and I know jiu-jitsu isn't a hobby; it's a sport. But we had things as kids that we did, and even though I'm not athletic, like even if I still have to work out, but I've been thinking about looking for something outside of what I do just to get my mind off. I
think that'll be a good thing for you.
I don't know why adults stop doing that.
Adults stop doing what?
Having some sort of hobby. And you have to rein it in, but...
Adults do have hobbies. We just don't hang out or associate with people with hobbies. There's guys that every Saturday get on their motorcycles and they meet for coffee and they take a ride around the park. And they talk
people
about
that go
their
fishing,
motorcycles.
people that golf.
And I can't tell you how very important it is. And I learned how important it is the last 3 years. You get delusional. It's bad to be around the people you work. Think about if you're a coal miner in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. I have nothing against coal miners and I have nothing against Pennsylvania, but you're around the same people for the rest of your fucking life. When you're off work, how many bars are there in those towns? 4?
Right.
You're either at one of them. You're talking about your boss.
You don't grow.
The shitty mistakes that the foreman make.
Right.
You're talking about how you should be a foreman. You know what I'm saying? It's constant. But it's also a small town mentality, they call it. I don't call it that. That's what they call it, a small town mentality. When you're here, from 1997 to 2004, I didn't want to talk to you if you didn't do what I did. I had no use for you as a human being. I was trying to learn everything I could, as much as I could about this business and get as far as I could. I got so involved in it that I gained over 100 pounds and didn't even see it.
People get obsessed about this business.
I got obsessed.
You get obsessed.
I got obsessed with the breakdowns.
Yeah.
I got obsessed on why I wasn't getting the things everybody else was getting.
That'll drive you
I wasn't
crazy.
angry at no one. It's a big difference. I was angry till 2001, and then after that I became angry that I didn't think I was getting the things I deserved. But who the fuck was I to even deserve anything? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I balanced it out. But I got so into what I did, which was 30 to 40 spots a month.
That's incredible.
30 to 40 spots a month. You figure 5 a week at the store, whatever Rogan took me for, and all the Felipe and the Fly and the Jeff Garcia
It's
and the
incredible.
Willie Barcena rooms.
What do you think an average comedian does here?
Real spots?
Listen, if they're doing 2 spots a night, 6 nights a week, figure it out.
Who's doing that though?
Build the Chris D'Elia,
Yeah.
the girl, the blonde
Eliza.
girl, Eliza.
Just to have that opportunity though, you got to be like on the top of the pile to get
but
that
no,
stage
not
time.
really. Tommy Easter could do 30 spots a week if he wanted to. He
Open
could do-
mics.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you watch that show Crashing. People talk shit about the show Crashing. One thing it reminds me of 1993. It was a cold reality for me, what Pete's going through right now. You know, you got a bark on the side. For me, it was you had to sell tickets at half price on the street. Doesn't change. The hustle didn't change, just became something else.
Yeah.
So I would go to the comic strip, I would go to the New York Comedy Club, and they give you a bunch of tickets and you have to sell them. You know what I did? I kept all the money and never went back. You know me, dog. I'm a fucking piece of shit. And I would keep $100 and I didn't give a fuck about the comic strip. I don't need you people. I'll do my work around you people. I'll come back and after I get an HBO special. That never happened. But, you know, it's never really changed. So it's been reminding me, and they kind of got it. They really do have it. Pete's doing a great job.
Oh, I'll have to check it out
And I
then.
think that they have it. You know, the feeling, the frustration. Pete got divorced. His wife cheated on him because he's broke and he's kind of ubats.
Yeah.
Same thing like me. And then you have no money and you're crashing on people's couches.
Yeah.
You know, you're just crashing on people's couches. And on the way, you meet different people. I met Doug Stanhope. I met that guy Lee Camp from New York that teaches stand-up comedy. You meet different people along the path. And if they're real stand-ups, they show you love. Yeah, you could stay on my couch, you know. Yeah, you could borrow my car. You know?
Yeah.
When I first came to L.A., Doug Stanhope had a car. You could just go over there and get in it.
That's great.
But the needle was broken, so you always
Never
had to
knew how
fill-
much gas was in
You
there.
never knew. Sometimes it didn't even make the gas station. Sometimes it didn't even make the gas station. Where's Tony Bennett, cocksucker? Look at this. Look at this. You see what I'm talking about?
So cute.
I wanna be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart.
What's up, dog?
I'm doing good, man.
Somebody twice as smart.
Ready for another bong hit?
No,
Yeah, we gotta do one more.
I almost died.
That's the good thing.
Thank you.
That's the good thing.
Somebody
This is great reefers. Oh,
will
shit.
swear to be true
That's for you.
as you
It's
used
perfect.
to do with
It's green. It's tiny.
I know it's
Look at that.
who'll leave you to learn that mystery.
It's
my
small.
issue isn't that it's too big.
No, it's the weed you like. I feel I made it small for you.
Okay.
Nobody gets their feelings hurt. This is for the fucking spits. By April
Sure.
Fool's Day. You didn't even do a bong hit.
I did too do bong hit.
Not on April Fool's Day. It was Saturday. You were up at
Oh,
Lake
yeah.
Canahoon, wherever the fuck you were.
The
Walked
Grand
4
Canyon,
miles
by
to
the
a
way.
hotel. He stayed an hour away from the hotel
Yeah,
down the
'cause-
hill
okay.
to save
All right,
15
before
bucks.
I take the bong hit, can
Oh,
I,
here we go.
can
Here we
I
go.
First of all, the hotels up there looked nice, but a little bit older. It was a little bit expensive, so we stayed an hour away, so we wouldn't have to be stuck with just maybe the hotel food options. So, but anyways, the
Listen,
Grand Canyon was
listen.
amazing.
Listen, you need to scab
saying
off a
that.
Syrian refugee's head. You understand me? You called me to ask
But
me
I would-
if
I
you
don't-
should eat Chinese buffet. So all of a sudden now you care about food up the fucking
It
canyon.
was next to a gas station, so I couldn't do it. But
Why can't you stay next to a gas station?
I just not for a Chinese buffet, and it didn't. And I yelped it didn't have good reviews.
Oh really? You
Yeah,
yelped it?
but
They
at-
finally lied to you, huh?
I tried rattlesnake though.
Did you try rattlesnake? It was delicious.
It was good, but it was I tried like one bite. The restaurant even only puts it out in 2 ounces because they're like they know you're not gonna finish it. You're gonna take one bite. And
Did your wife like it?
No.
What does it taste like?
It was spicy, but I couldn't tell if there were scales still on it. But granted, I had a couple stars in me because we were up at the Grand Canyon.
I do the bong, all right?
All right.
You're killing me.
You're killing me. What am I doing?
Fucking rattlesnake. It never ends. It never ends. It never ends. Where'd you do this, Lofton or the other place?
The Grand Canyon.
Okay.
I wouldn't know.
You gotta do the bong, please.
Okay.
What do you gotta irritate me for? Look at this. Look at this. Come here, because I'm gonna strangle you. Come here. He's not gonna do it right. Come here.
I didn't
right
do
there.
it.
Come here. Stay right
I did
there.
it fine.
Bend over. Come here. Unbelievable. Cook that motherfucker. Cook that motherfucker. Cook that motherfucker. There you go. Like a soldier.
Wait.
There you go. Finish that thing. There you go. That's beautiful, that reefer. That's the shit that killed Steve Swoboda. You know who Steve Swoboda is?
Him.
No.
This is my buddy Steve Simeone.
He's Steve Simeone. Give me that fucking thing, will you?
Oh my god.
That's some good reefer right there and shit. No, but that's what really kills me, that I don't understand if people really know before what they get themselves into.
I can't
I
believe
really don't get it.
how many people show up and then don't want to do the work. Like, you come all the way here, you say you want to do comedy. You know how many people I've invited down to the Comedy Store, open a mic on a Monday, explained everything to them, and they never come back? They come back 6 months later. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting back into it.
Do you know how many people that went? See, I got here in '97 with you. From '96 to about 2002 people, the networks would give you a thing that's called developmental deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a developmental deal meant you were hot. The networks called you and said, "We'd like to speak to Steve Simeone." Steve Simeone would show up. He would pitch them an idea. They'd say they'd love it. They'd come that Thursday and watch you do stand-up. And next thing you know, you'd ink a deal for a TV series based on your stand-up.
That's unbelievable.
It was a year deal, for example. First, you got to find the showrunner that jizzes with you. Then you got to find the writer that jizzes with you, in between whatever project he has. And then you got to write the pilot, and you get your money in levels. So let's say it's like a $250,000 deal. You get $100 down, and another $50,000 when the pilot's done. Then you pick up another $50,000 when the pilot is shot, and you pick up another $50,000 when the pilot is aired.
Wow.
So it all goes in levels. People all get different developmental deals. People just get a flat fee. Then you have a year or two to develop your own show.
I think that's the tough part about living and working here, but not being on the talent side, because like the money that's thrown around and that you hear, even not even for development deals, but just like so and so got paid $20 million. I remember in high school, Will Smith was getting $20 million a movie, and just to hear that and like, what are you talking? Like, that's not even, you can't even really fathom that number.
$20 million. Do you know what you have to produce to be valued at $20 million?
I have no idea.
That's like Tom Cruise money. That's like, that's when you sell records worldwide. That's where you put asses in seats like a Tom Cruise, like a
Will Smith
Yeah.
worldwide. You make that company $500 million on your $20 million investment.
Right.
But that's just you. They also have to do marketing and shoot the film, and
All the production costs.
somebody like Robert De Niro, who's a phenomenal actor, nobody goes to the movies to watch anymore, unless you like the art of acting. So Robert's not getting $20 million. He could probably wipe the fucking floors with Will Smith, but it really doesn't matter. Dave Attell is a phenomenal fucking comedian, but if young kids don't like him,
Right.
nobody
It's the
goes
same
to
thing.
see him. he could eat every comic's working lunch today. You follow me? Even on his bad night.
Yeah, he's amazing.
But that's just the way life is.
I really don't like that stat, like the how much money the movie makes. I'd really rather it be how many tickets it sold, because I honestly think they raise ticket prices just to set records, just to be like they can say they said hit $1 billion.
Brother,
It's
either way, it's like revenge. I could either hit you in the head or blow up your car. The result is the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm in the revenge business. Shut the fuck up, will you? They don't care how many tickets. It's the money.
Yeah.
What's the general cost? Now, that also includes with a comedian. Remember Ralphie came on here? Ralphie said that he signed with his manager.
Mm-hmm.
The manager pulled him out of all the improvs for a year. Just kept him out of the improvs. And then he found out through the IRS what the people were making for real on the real books. Not what they tell you that they made at the door, but what you made selling food and what you made the real GPR.
Yeah.
So his manager attacked that number. You know, there's some people that don't have the talent you have, Steve Simeone, but they have a better manager
Yeah.
who negotiates a better deal. And one day
Sound like Mickey and Rocky right now. Never had a manager.
Yeah, no, it's the same.
It's the
difference.
truth. It's the same thing.
Fucking difference. You know, it's the same difference. He could have a manager, and for you to jump out in that window in that movie, they'll give you $200. For him to jump out the same window and do the same stunt, they negotiate $8,000.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, they don't fucking know. You never fucking know. So it's for you to pay Will Smith $20 million is because you got to get 10 times your investment back on Will Smith after all costs and everything. There's no how many write-offs has Will Smith had the last 10 years? The one movie, not with the black kid, not when he was a computer whiz with his kid.
Yeah, the happiness one.
Yeah, there was just maybe
Pursuit of
one
Happiness.
movie that
That's
he
great.
didn't do well with, you know. But all his movies do well.
Yeah, that dude's
Remember,
consistent.
if they don't do well here, they do well
International.
internationally.
Yeah.
That's where your money is. That's where your main paper is. Just because how many times have you heard Mickey Rourke is huge in France?
Yeah.
You know, he's huge in France. Like, who the fuck?
It's
What
great.
was the guy from
Jerry Lewis.
No, Hasselhoff.
Germany.
In Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
He was fucking huge. He was worth, it's
great.
It's not for the American audience sometimes. It's basically for the fucking international audience.
Yeah, Will Smith went dark for a little bit, kind of. Not really, but like he was really busy. And then between he did one movie a year, 06, 07, 08. And then he didn't do anything for 4 years until 2012. But he's always been good.
Okay, let me
That's
explain
great.
something to you. That's called strategy. That's called I'm going to get $20 million a movie. I could do 3 movies in 1 year, and 2 of them out of the 3 could bomb, and then I lower it down to $7 million.
Right.
Or I could do once a year, come up with a good script, have my agent show up with something good that'll do well here and great internationally. I have to jump off a few buildings. I'm going to have to eat some steroids, get a dog, whatever the fuck it
Yeah.
is. That's called the smarts of it. You know, let's talk about Will Ferrell and the other guy. He was hotter than hell 10 years ago. John Favreau's friend, Steve Burns' friend.
Oh yeah, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
There was a time when they put him in every fucking movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you sat there, kept saying, when is this going to end? When is this going to end? You know? Nobody could tell you what movies to take and what movies you can't take. But you in your head should know that the more you throw against the wall, something's going to stick.
Yeah,
you know?
percentage-wise.
People talk bad about Adam Sandler. Now, it bothers the fuck out of me because they don't know how great of a guy he is. But you can't be 100% all the time. And you can't release 2 movies a fucking year and expect for all of them to win the Oscars. So sometimes you have to be a little smarter than that. Same applies to comedy. The same applies to advertising on television. The same applies to how long people want to see you over and over and
Yeah,
over
you
again.
get overexposed.
I don't do Periscope every day. It's not necessary. I'm not fucking Brad Pitt. Nobody needs to see my fucking face every fucking day. But I know this going in.
Right.
There's people who get on Periscope every day and overstay their welcome. It's the same thing with movies. If you do 3 movies a year in today's market, where I have so much entertainment,
So many options.
so many options, so many options. Every time I release a movie, they can't all make $138 million.
Truth.
I'm going up against film, TV, Netflix, Shroom Text, but text, Hulu,
Twitter.
People-
I'm going up against
Facebook.
everything.
I think that's what I think it's smart what he did with signing with Netflix, because it's about international, and like you said, and about streams. Just to talk about Adam Sandler for a second, I rewatched Happy Gilmore last night.
So good.
Fucking hilarious.
Hilarious. Carl
What-
Weathers' hand kills me every time.
And the fucking thing about Adam Sandler was that I couldn't watch this guy until I met him. And after I met him was when I watched like Mr. Deeds.
I loved all that.
Great.
And I watched
He's got such a
Happy
big heart.
Gilmore. Once I watched all that shit, I got to understand who he was, and I really appreciated who he was. And now, like the other day, somebody wrote, people are writing shit to him on Twitter, and it drives me nuts. Like the other day, somebody wrote, he got a deal last week, didn't he?
He re-upped with Netflix.
Yeah.
If I'm
And people were
Not
insulting
mistaken.
him, and I'm like, you have no idea who this guy is. What happened was they went to the well a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
That genre of funny, when Adam Sandler doesn't do his movies, he's fucking tremendous. Adam Sandler can
Oh,
act his
what was
ass
it?
off.
Punch Drunk Love?
Yeah, Punch Drunk
He was
Love.
so good in that.
Bro, Adam Sandler can rock with the best of them. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you. I was there with him. I saw what he could do. I saw his sense of humor. And I also saw the attraction to how he made you laugh.
And he's so likable.
On the movie, the first couple of years, I couldn't look at Adam Sandler for 10 seconds. I want to throw that. And when people would go, I like Adam Sandler, I would stop talking to them. I would stop talking to him. When I met that man and I saw him on the set and I saw him work, I was like, God damn. Like, that's how free. He was so free, and I admired him so much for that.
Yeah.
And listen, so what? I don't get invited to his Christmas parties, so no more. So what? He hasn't put me in his last 10 movies. I can't hold any of that to him, because what he did for me on Longest Yard, he went above and beyond for me. I'll never, ever forget that to the grave.
I'll never forget just getting to
Yeah.
hang out with you one day on the set. It was the greatest. Best field trip I've ever been on.
Oh, my God. I'll never forget that. So I respect him. But it's the same thing, man. You can't fight 3 times a year.
Right.
Donald Cerrone learned that
Yeah.
this year. You cannot fight 3 times a year, and you have to ask yourself the why and the how. I got an offer today from San Diego. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. These people wanted me to charge $55 for tickets to VIP seating, $35 for general admission, and $20 for 200 people to stand. And I told them to take that deal and shove it up their ass.
Good for you.
They were like, are you serious? I'm like, I would never charge. I don't give a fuck. What is wrong with people?
Yeah.
But then people can't realize what happens, because we get talked into stupid shit. We get led down wrong streets. I see it coming from every direction. That's
Yeah.
how they get you, is with the money. And you start looking at the money going, $55, I don't care about these people. I'll pay. It's like I've been getting hit the last couple of weeks. I'm at that fucking Turner Hall. But when you click on Turner Hall on fucking Yahoo to get tickets, all these fake websites come out, and they're charging $216 for tickets to go see me at a fucking theater. So people sending me these tweets. So I had to finally go to the fucking thing, and it's $20 a seat, $25 a seat. I would never charge. But these fake ticket agencies,
Yeah.
they're buying tickets and selling them for $216 fucking dollars, like scalpers or some
That's
shit, or their
crazy.
fake sites. I would never do that. I would never do that at all. That's
Yeah,
what
because
I
you got a
think.
good heart.
No, not because I
And
have
it's
a
good
heart.
business.
It's good fucking business.
Yeah, but they go hand in hand sometimes in life.
there are comedians that charge $100 fucking dollars for you to go see them. I don't care how funny somebody is. I refuse to pay $100 to go see somebody.
I think what happens is people get caught up, people that maybe did make those sacrifices you were talking about, and then somewhere along the line they go, well, I deserve it. Right now it's my turn. But they don't think of that long-term success. Like you said, take care of your fans. It takes forever to get fans. Appreciate them. Take care of them. That's it. And then you can stay in business forever. That's the way I look at it. Keep on writing new stuff. Be nice to people. And that's it.
Who knows if it's true, but when there was a story over the weekend that Mike Tyson charges a couple $100 to have a picture with him.
Ugh.
That's like, and you can do whatever you want, and but that just seems a little
That
rough.
goes both ways. Because how many people stop Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
right.
Does he charge the $200 at private functions when he does a speaking engagement? Or if
Probably.
I bump into him right now on the street
Look
at Ralph's, and I go, Mike, let me hook up with a picture of you.
Dude,
Well,
he was at the Comedy Store one. Like, he seemed so cool.
No,
it was
he's cool as
ridiculous.
fuck.
Yeah, he
He's
seems
cool as
so cool.
That's what every story's been. That's what every
cool as fuck.
story I've heard. Is that maybe it is for those events, but those like have you been approached to go to those picture signing events, Joey?
Years ago, when The Longest Yard came out, and I refused. Refused. I don't see that. I don't want to do that. There's nothing in my heart. I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Is that a normal fee, Steve? Do you think?
I don't
maybe
know.
for that thing. I'm not
I
trying,
know
I'm not trying to
years
start a
ag-
beef with
no,
Mike Tyson.
Years ago,
Yeah, that's not a smart.
years ago, I heard of comedians charging $10 for a picture. No. There's two ways to attack this. I came up with a comic that didn't want the audience to see him till he went on stage. You know, and he explained to me why, because you want to be bigger than them. And I get it. I get it. But in my world, I'm not bigger than them.
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot of things that big-time comics do to make their appearance seem a little bigger than what they are.
Right.
And it worked for them. It doesn't work for me. I appreciate getting $10 a headshot. I could, you know, when I got to catch a 3:30 a.m. flight and there's 30 people online, and I'm there for an hour talking to them, it would be great to get $10 a person and get an extra $300.
Yeah.
Well, what would the $300 do for me besides insult these poor people?
Yeah.
What would the $300 do to insult? You know what? If I asked them on the way out to give me $10 a piece, they'd give it to me.
Yeah.
People that listen to the church, when they come to a show on the way out, if I go, I need $10 or I need to buy weed, they give it to me.
Yeah.
You're going to charge these people. There's little things that people do that would turn me off completely. I stopped going to a restaurant because they don't clean the windows. I look at the weirdest things, you know.
Right.
I know if this person's a businessman, I know if this person's a fucking joker. By the treatment. When people get their cars fucked up, I always tell people, go to Marco. Yeah, but go to Marco. Go to Marco. I don't give a, go to Marco. You're never going to be treated like that in your life.
Yeah.
And he's Russian, Armenian, they get the bill, they get it sent through. You know, sometimes we'll have to call your insurance and get it approved. Go ahead, get the car. I'll get it approved.
Yep.
I'll make them an offer they can't. I mean, like I said, he got me a battery in my car a year later. A year later, I told my battery was dead. He came all the way up here to Cumston Street when I used to live over there, and he fucking put the battery in my car.
Wow.
From Glendale.
Takes care of people.
That's customer service.
That's the greatest thing. It's gone in our society. It's
sent
gone
him-
in our
I
society.
just sent him my buddy Donnie, and Donnie goes, I can't believe, Joey, what this guy does. He saved me my deductible. It's amazing.
It's like my tax guy I send everybody to. He
Yeah.
takes care of you.
That's Rick's guy that went to jail.
His buddy.
Great. You keep sending all these guys to a prison fucking...
No, it's not the same guy.
No, but they're guilty through association. Birds of a feather flock together. If your friend went to jail, you're fucking close by. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Yeah, keep it up, Lee. Keep it up. Going, I saved $3,000. Okay. Wait till you're writing me from Dave Foley's cell over there. Fucking yo, in the Dave Foley suite and shit. Man, they don't have no hummus in here. Because there's no hummus in prison. The only hummus you get is if you blow an Arab. That's the only hummus you get. And you get no nachos. There's no nachos. It's just straight up fucking hummus juice.
I don't want to know how you get nachos. So
No,
please don't
there's
tell me.
nachos, but you're not going to get those chips. There's not going to be any in there. Fucking hilarious. Great to see you, Steve Simeone.
I love you,
Fucking
Joey.
pleasure, brother. What else is going on in your life, cocksucker?
Getting ready to do a USO tour.
When are you leaving?
May.
For how long?
I think 2 weeks.
And where you
Steve
going?
Byrne. I don't know where we're going yet, but it's like, you know who Gary Cannon is? He's a great guy.
great
Gary
guy. Used to open
Cannon.
up for Ralphie May.
Yes.
Yeah, great guy.
Steve Byrne and Bill Crawford out of Pittsburgh, who's fantastic.
Steve Cannon opens up for Steve Byrne a lot.
Yeah, Gary Cannon. Yep.
I think Steve Byrne has a special coming out next week.
He does.
On what? Do you know what it is? Let's give him a shout out. He's a great
You want
guy.
to look it up, Lee?
I was going to contact him, but I don't think I had time for him. I have somebody tomorrow already, and I think his special comes out on the 6th or something like that. So he's a great guy. He's family. He's church family. So if you
He's great.
love
Okay.
Steve Byrne, give him a shout out. He's a fucking great guy.
He is.
What's the name of the special?
His fourth special, Tell the Damn Joke. is on Showtime April 7th at 9 p.m.
So that's Friday night.
Yes.
Showtime. Tape it. He's a good fucking dude. So hopefully you'll be shooting your special soon with a little grace from God.
Let's hope so. If prayers
at
get
the
answered.
Comedy Store. Hopefully you'll do it the right way.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Nah, man. I just noticed that lately, that these people really bothered me last week. These people really fucking bothered me last week with this gathering, because they kind of in a way made me feel bad for doing what I do. And ever since this girl lived in L.A., she always had these drunk parties, and I never went to one of their parties.
Mm-hmm.
I loved them dearly. I appreciate it. I always put my work before it. As much as I wanted to do coke, and as much as I knew one of them would do coke with you and suck your dick, I knew all these things about these type of parties. I always put stand-up before it. I always avoided them.
You're on a mission.
And little by little, but this was 10 years ago I avoided these people. This is 15 years ago. Even then, when I was deep in the blow.
Yeah.
I know that there was no future, hanging out with these people.
Yeah.
As much as I loved them, it was the same stories over and over again.
But there are two types of people in the city. The people that do that just party, that want to hang out and go to the beach and have fun all the time. And then there's people that are like, I got something to prove. There's something I want to do. There's something I want to accomplish.
Is there something wrong with that attitude, though? Is
I don't
there
know.
something wrong with it, Lee? I know you have a little bit of an issue with it, Lee.
I don't have an issue with it. It's
Yeah, you do.
okay. It's you growing up. You're sold this image of nine to 5, sleeping, getting bagels on Saturday. Like I don't know. I don't even know where I get it. Maybe from movies. Who knows where that stupid image comes from? And sometimes I like that when I'm thinking about the hobby thing. I'm like, I thought you were gonna be a little bit more negative about it, because you're so. I've never met anyone who can go for so long and so hard and not feel burnt out. Maybe you do feel burnt out and you just work through it. I don't know, but it's. Like I was thinking, I don't know if I've had a day off this year, in reality, which is good. I do have a much more free schedule. I'm not trying to complain, but it's a taxing schedule to get used to after 5 days a week at school, not really having to work super hard, getting A's and B's usually.
The fuck are you talking about, A's and B's? That went out the window when you fucking got your diploma. I'm talking about life.
I know. So yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm talking
you
about.
went to college and you worked through college, and now you pay half your loans, and you help your parents and stuff like that. You've sacrificed in a lot of ways. I think that, and this podcast is not about Lee or anybody else. I'm just talking about sacrifice. I think that when I first met Lee, the first 6 months, I had a problem with Lee's. But it wasn't that I had a problem with Lee. Lee didn't really know. If I look back at it today, Lee didn't really know how the game was played. Lee thought that there's running a charity out there that you do this and this is what happens, and there's two ways you could do this. There's the wrong way and there's the fucking wrong way.
Yeah.
I found out, listen, you didn't think I wanted to snort coke and be the life of the party? When I was 28, I wanted it given to me. Or if it wasn't given to me, I took it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If I wanted to party on a Thursday night and there was going to be bitches there and I wanted to try to impress these losers,
Right.
I would fuck Steve Simeone over. Give me an 8-ball. I'll have the money back tomorrow. Joey, I need the money tomorrow because I got a cop. I borrowed it from my brother, the dentist. Yeah. I didn't give a fuck about you. I'll go out there. If I sell $200, I'll sell $200. If I snort it all, I'll snort it all. And if not, he ain't getting shit tomorrow. I'll deal with Steve. He'll call me 1,000 times. I'll duck him till Tuesday, tell him I got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so weird. But when I first met Lee, he didn't know. He had no idea. He didn't know when we went to New York. And I'm like, Lee, have the microphone ready. He thought, there was a lot of things that Lee had never been around these things. I tell Lee all the time that this is a valuable education he's getting. He told me himself that he's worked with a lot of other people on podcasting, and they don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. People don't really understand what they need to do today.
It's true.
people don't know the intensity that you have to go at something if you want it. You might catch a break, and it may be given to you a little bit too prematurely.
Yep.
But you're still going to have to go back and do the work.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts.
I saw it with Margaret Cho, Tom Rhodes, and George Geraldo, God bless his soul. They all got TV shows given to them right after the explosion of Roseanne Barr and Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
And what, did these guys quit? No, they didn't. They still do stand-up,
Yep.
except for Geraldo, who,
Yep.
God rest his soul. I learned a lot from Tom Rhodes and from Margaret Cho. They didn't let that TV show cancellation stop them. It was
No.
just a bump in the road.
Yep.
A lot of people, that affects.
Yeah.
That affects. They're never the same again. When you see them, their attitude's a little different. They blame it on the network. They were racially biased. Margaret made some chatter about racially biased or whatever, but she dropped that shit.
Yep.
It wasn't even worth the chatter. Wasn't even worth the chatter.
Yeah, because it's a long-term career. It's like
It's a
if you have
long-term career.
if you have a hot show or nothing happens with the show, you still want to do this for the rest of your life. You know, like Ray Romano had one of the most successful shows ever, but he's still doing stand-up. Seinfeld's still doing stand-up.
Does Ray Romano still do stand-up?
Yeah, he did a charity show for us last year. And
Did he?
Yeah, it was his first time ever at the Comedy Store. It was great. He was such a nice guy, and he talked about shooting the show in New York. I forget what show it was, but he started popping into the cellar, and he was saying how much he enjoyed working stuff out with comedy club audiences. Because the only thing he does
was
is
working on that music show.
yes, exactly.
He was working on a music show or something like that.
Yeah, and he was talking about how he loved popping into the clubs again because he was a New York comic. He was like, I never really cut my teeth. He was like, I moved to LA to do TV, and he was like, by that point, I was just doing casinos and corporate gigs, but he's still doing all that stuff. Once you're a stand-up, I think you're always a stand-up. That's it.
Well, I love it more now than I did when I started. I just don't have the ability to do what I was doing when I started. Like, when I come back next week, I'm not doing the big clubs anymore. I'm going to go on a fucking bar tear again. I got my Tuesdays and Thursdays and go to little bars and start from scratch. I need to come up with a new hour, and I'm not going to come up with it at the Comedy Store. I'm not going to come up with it at the Improv, and I'm not going to come up with it at the...
So you want to be off the map a little bit.
Off the map.
Okay.
I'm going back to the Ha-Ha. I'm going to do these other... There's a room close to the house on Tuesday nights. There's another one on Thursday.
I'd love to hit any of those rooms.
And maybe
with
just hit the store once a week. Like I hit it on Saturdays during Brian Monarch's show to see where I'm going with the material. But I'm not going to grow if I keep going to the Comedy Store because I got to keep doing A material to keep up with the masses.
Yeah.
So I can't do this. I have to go back to when I first... I'd like to shoot a CD a year from now, tape a new special. But the only way I'm going to tape this special and for it to be effective is to take it back to roots.
That's
Got to
cool.
take it back to little rooms and shit, you know? You go to the Comedy Store main room, you got to ham it up. I got to ham it up in the original room.
Right.
And I'm too old to be hamming it up during the week. I expected, you know, and I'm not complaining. I'm
Right.
just saying that I want to go somewhere Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday where I don't need
No
to have
pressure.
I don't have that at the Comedy Store. If I had a place right now tonight that we could go to 11 o'clock,
I would love
there.
to do it right now.
I'd be there. And
Yep.
even if there was 8 people, I would be there. The same thing goes for Tuesday. The same thing goes for Wednesday. You know, I would be there in a heartbeat. But it's not the way things turn out. You know, this week I got to shoot this thing, this TV
great.
show. So I'm pretty
Congratulations on that.
yeah, hey, listen, man. This is 20 years of... I don't get work like I used to. Let me give some shout-outs. Angel Adorno, Jeff Collins, David Tamo, Ben Augusto, Anthony Sabito, Matt Holmeyer. I'll see you in Milwaukee, cocksucker. Chris Tent, and my man Garnett Onuschuk. This guy was here last week.
I
Comes
love
to the
Garnett. He's great.
Garnett's
From
a great-
Canada,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
a bad dude.
Garnett is over there hanging himself right now. He's thinking of disconnecting his internet. He just wants to move to LA and
don't
hang out
blame
with the
him.
boys. That's all he wants
He's
to
so
do, which
cool.
I can't get mad at him for. How many years have you been here for now, Steve?
September will be 17.
And what do you think? Did you sacrifice a lot for your country?
I don't know if I could do it over again. Is the truth. I really don't know if I had to. If I had to, I don't know if I was. Yeah, I sacrificed enough. I don't know if I could do it again, but I'm very grateful for all of the opportunities I've had because of the sacrifices. When I think about going, like I've been to Afghanistan on the front lines, making people laugh. I've been bedside at Children's Hospital with kids through the worst things life can. Just comedy brought me all those great experiences. So for that, I'm grateful.
It's funny when you watch Crashing. Like I was in New York for 9 months. And when I watch Pete Holmes, there's a part where the girl says to him, so how you making a living? He goes, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just having the best time of my life. And I can look at both you guys and think about that time of my life and how much fun I was having being broke.
Yeah.
Stealing change from cars in the service department I'm selling cars at. And it was a fucking journey every day. I would have to get up at 6 to take the 7 o'clock bus because my friend's dad drove that bus and he would let me on for free.
Right.
$2.50. I would get $2.50. With that $2, I'd get like a juice and a buttered roll.
Right.
But it's hard to believe that I would get up 2 hours earlier just to be able to eat a buttered roll and fucking juice, a freshly squeezed orange juice.
It's insane.
It's fucking crazy. And I'd do it again, Steve Simeone.
I would do it again. I just don't know if I could. I think back to those like Fat James years. Stevie Z. Remember him? Stevie Z kicking me out of the apartment.
If you and Paula got into a big fight tonight and you felt bad and you gave her half the money in your account, which you're looking at me and you'd rather
I'd have to feel with, I don't know what I'd do.
You would probably harakiri yourself before you give somebody money. That's when you stick a knife in your stomach and cut yourself sideways, God forbid.
I don't even know what
anyway,
knife I'd use.
I'm just saying to you, what if you married Paula and
right,
you had a child and you got into an argument with her because you went on the road with us and stayed out too long and she took the kid to your mother's and she took half of your account and now she's going to take your credit cards, max them out. I didn't smell nothing. Now she maxes them out, and now you're a depressed guy. Would you go for what you dreamed of a long time ago, or would you continue doing what you were doing, Lee? I mean, when you have nothing to lose, that's when you go for it in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, do you mean would I keep doing this or would I go back to editing?
No. Like, I'm talking about like in Pete Holmes' situation, that show Crashing.
Right.
Him and his wife break up. He gets into comedy full steam ahead. He's sleeping. I mean, when I tell you the story, sometimes you look at me like with 3 eyes, like getting to Michigan early and having to sleep in your car, and to me it was so liberating.
Yeah.
To get out of the car in the morning and stretch out in the sunlight and walk into a place with $6 and hope you get breakfast. Just hope you get breakfast and hope a Kmart opens at 10 so you could bring back a pair of car mats and get $26 so you could eat a Subway veggie and cheese and get $10 worth of weed. That's what I'm talking about, Lee. Okay. The rent, it's the third of the month.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay the rent on the 5th. As far as May's rent, Lee, it's the farthest thing from you, man. You're not even thinking about it.
Right.
Your car is parked over at Steve Simone's garage because you're 2 months late with the payment, and you can't leave it on the street because you know they're hunting for it. Do you know what that lifestyle is like, in a way?
No.
Oh, and then to top it off, you're going to close an open mic that's only going to have 8 people, and you're going to close the show at 12:45, but at 11 o'clock the room empties out. You have no idea the frustration and the fucking horror I lived in. I would drive a limo and sign up at your old Triple N at 10, and they would go, come back at 2:30. Like, definitely 2:30. And then you come back at 2:30 and they're like, maybe another hour. And you're like, oh my God. And I got a Coke Rock in my pocket and it's burning a hole in that motherfucker. And all I want to do is crack this two stupid jokes I wrote from the Judy Carter workbook so I could go home and blast off to Columbiaville. You have no fucking idea, Lee. I was paying grandma. I was sending child support, trying to snort coke, trying to fucking buy clothes. And I tell you what, guys, here's the sad thing. I can't lie to you guys. I was making money. When I think about those busted times in '93, I was paying $365 a month for child support. I was probably paying $300 a month rent. Everything else was me eating out and my cocaine habit.
Wow.
Those were the two nuts I had. I'd buy groceries for the house once a week, maybe $60. So my nut was $1,800. I was making $800 a week delivering sandwiches, my friend.
Wow.
From 10 to fucking 2:30 at Hashways. And then I'd go into the city and do whatever the fuck else I had to do. I was making $3,200 base, and I was still struggling. How fucking crazy is that? Because I was buying $20 of weed a day.
Yep.
And $35 of cocaine every day.
Wow.
Add that up, 55 times 30. That's a lot of fucking money, dog.
Wow.
Once in a while, I would buy a pair of sneakers. Once in a while, I would buy 2 pair of pants. I worked in the city, so I would walk past those outlets and just buy 2 pair of pants for $15. Fuck it, I'd buy a 6-pack of white socks.
Good to go.
Why buy underwear? Who needs them? It's a necessity you don't need. That $5, I could use it for something else.
$1,650.
$1,600 or $16,000.
$100.
$1,600 a
a
month.
month.
That
was
was
my
close to
drug
$700.
habit.
5 times your rent.
And that's without my fucking tolls and food I ate when I went to cop drugs. That's crazy. That was my struggle. Doing drugs and struggling open mics. But you know what? I'd do it all over again.
Yeah.
That roommate I had, till this day, I haven't written anything about those days. And those are some of the best. I was living in such pain then because I had lost my daughter. I knew I wasn't a loser. I thought at this time I was going to go back to Boulder and be a father and everything would be forgiven.
Yeah.
But that was just a delusional mindfuck. But at the time I lived in Georgie. I just went to Chance Dragon in with him on Thursday. And every time I look at him, I think about those 9 months and how me and George have been friends for 40 years, but we're 2 different animals now.
Mm-hmm.
I love him dearly because of 3 or 4 different time periods of my life. He plugged the hole like a brother.
That's great.
I mean, he plugged the fucking hole. But that heroin, those 9 months of heroin, were some of the funniest times I ever saw in my life. And it was watching somebody else deteriorate, but he didn't care about himself.
Mm.
So I would just torment him. I would torment him, and he would torment me too, don't get me wrong. But every night I knew he wanted to shoot up. If I knew he had a certain look on his face, he'd be dying to shoot up. But it was me, him, and his grandmother. And his grandmother knew he was a filthy junkie. So she would watch him like a fucking hawk at night. And he would play it out like everything was cool. And I mean, dog, grandma's door wouldn't go, and he was already dodging to the bathroom to shoot heroin.
Wow.
And I'd give him like 5 minutes, and then I'd tiptoe, and they had a gong in the hallway, and I'd hit the gong and go back to bed. And she'd come out, what the fuck was that? And then she'd look in the room and go, where's George? And I go, I don't know. And she'd run to the bathroom and bang on the door, George, I know what you're doing in there. And he'd be shooting up and shit, and then he'd come back and go, you couldn't talk to her? And I'd say, like, I don't know what happened. She went right to the door. I would torment him, dog. I would torment him every fucking night.
How did he get over it?
He went to jail. He went to jail. He told the judge, just throw me in jail because I'm never going to get clean. He had already gone to 20 rehabs. But it was those 9 months with him. I had just gone through a divorce. I was going to war with these people. And I went back home. And I actually went back home. Like it was the first time I lived at home in 8 years, but I needed to go home. I needed to walk those streets again.
Yeah.
I needed to remember who the fuck I was. And if I was going to get into comedy, I really needed to remember who I was, you know?
That's a good point.
So it was, but I look at George now and I laugh because I think I still remember him accusing me of robbing his bus pass. And me going, George, I ride the bus for free every fucking day. Why would I rob your bus pass? Because I know you did it. You know what he used to do in those days? He moved rocks at the park. 2 days a week, 3 hours. He would move rocks with a thing, and they'd give him $140 a week and a bus pass because he was a junkie. He was on a junkie program in Cliffside Park, and that's what you do, like get a junkie out of the house program. So you go down to the park, you sweep a little bit for 3 hours, and they give you $1.40 and a methadone card and a bus card and a syringe. I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
He had this program down. 2 days a week, I think it was 6 hours a day, and the government gives you a little money It's called the Momo program or something.
I'm sure
But he's
that's
doing
the
good
official
now?
program.
Oh yeah. Now
That's good.
today he's doing well. He has his own. He's partners on a frame company, and he raises his daughter, and he lives with
great.
grandma's still alive. I was over there the other night. Lee met grandma.
She awesome.
Racist as fuck. She's telling me Fidel died in California. She's 91 now, dog, and she tells me she's
so
105. She's like, I'm 105, Grandma. You're fucking 91. Pretty interesting shit. Like what this journey. You're right. The sacrifice was really worth the journey. It was
The
to me.
journey, absolutely.
And would I do it again? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I would do this all over again. The suffering was definitely worth it. The only thing I wouldn't do again is do it with an addiction.
Right.
I wouldn't do it with an addiction. That's the only thing I suggest. But I suggest the struggle and the fucking.
The struggle is what I think it gave me just more compassion for people. You know what I mean? Like the more I suffered, the less I wanted to see anybody else suffer. Or when they were going through it, I could see it. You know, like even the young comics up at the store. Like tonight, I'm going to go up there and I'm just going to listen. You know, sometimes you just show up and listen. You know what I mean?
That's the best. That's the
the
best. Get a
absolute
little
best.
high,
They need it.
sit in the back and watch the comedians go
Yeah.
on.
And then they
you
come
learn,
up to you.
You learn a ton. You
Yeah.
learn a ton watching people.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved when I lived in Hollywood and I get a spot like at 11:30 and you go at 9:30, smoke a little dope and just sit in the back when it used to be empty.
Yeah.
I'd sit all the way in the back with a baseball hat on so nobody would know me. I wasn't stealing jokes. I was just watching and learning.
Yeah.
That's it. You can learn from anybody in comedy. You can learn from an open micer. You can learn from a feature act.
Yes.
You can learn from a headline. That's the great thing about comedy. Every time I watch comedy close enough, 3 or 4 days, it could be fucking Tommy Easter.
Yep.
It could be Steve Simeone. It could be Joe Rogan. It could be Bert Kreischer. I learned something.
I think that was part of Mitzi's genius. always funny.
Tremendous.
It's always
Tremendous. Come on. There's the Philadelphia report. What the fuck?
But I was saying I like to go up there and just be there for the other comics, listen to what they're going through. You know, the kids in the struggle. See what I could do to help out. My new things, I feed them. I either make pizzas or ziti or something. Because bringing food up to the comedy store is like bringing food to a homeless
Well, I gotta
shelter.
tell you something. I have the same compassion at the comedy store. I look at those guys and I give them the utmost respect. They're the new Marines.
Yes.
I'm that fat old fuck with the crew cut that comes around and says, "You guys don't know nothing." I was here when Eddie Griffin was doing 4 hours, and then Dice would follow him and do 2 hours. You know, I feel like that guy. I feel like the old guy in Full Metal Jacket. And I just annoy Lee and all the other 28-year-olds.
Everybody loves you.
That's him. I'm Full Metal Jacket, and that's Lee. This ends with Lee pulling the gun on me, shooting me, then shooting himself in the bathroom. What was his name? What was that? Lunatic?
Private Pile?
Yeah.
Private Pile.
What is in your lunchbox? A jelly donut. That is one of the funniest scenes in movie history. When he goes, Goma Pile. What do you call him? Go see if they got donut scene and Full Metal Jacket. That's Lee Syatt.
Is that Vincent D'Onofrio?
That's Vincent D'Onofrio.
That turn he makes in that.
No. Listen, that guy
So
didn't work.
frightening.
Every time people like, what do you think? Do you want to hire Vincent D'Onofrio? Remember Full Metal Jacket? You got a point.
So good.
Yeah, hire him. You remember that scene, Lee? That's you.
I believe so.
That's you when he finds a donut.
Somehow I don't think this is very complimentary. But
What the fuck is this? There are 2 scenes in there that till this day, dog, I still fall off the couch. When he says Jesus, you know, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph, and he starts smacking them and beating them up. That is one of the funniest scenes.
I'm going to go back and watch that and
No.
Above the Law tonight.
The good thing about these 2 movies is you don't have to watch the whole movie. With this shit, you just have to watch.
I remember this movie freaking me out a little
until
bit.
he shoots himself.
Yeah.
And after that, the movie blows. Once the hooker says, "Me so horny," you're like, okay, I've had enough.
Really?
Look at that face.
It is like 2 different movies. But
It is like 2 different.
Put the jelly donut. Is this it? Yeah, that's it. That's Lee. Look, what? I'm the old guy, and that's Lee. Go ahead. Put that on. Watch this.
Toe jam. Pop that blister. Jesus H. Christ. Private Pile, why is your footlocker unlocked?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Private Pile, if there is one thing in this world that I hate, it is an unlocked footlocker. You know that, don't you?
Sir, yes, sir.
If it wasn't for dickheads like you, there wouldn't be any thievery in this world, would there?
Sir, no, sir.
Get down!
This is it, right here. Right here, this is
Well,
the best thing ever.
let's just see if there's anything missing. Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that, Private Pile?
Sir, jelly donut, sir.
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir.
How did it get here?
Sir, I took it from the mess hall, sir.
Is chow allowed in the barracks, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir.
Are you allowed to eat jelly donuts, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir.
And why not, Private Pile?
Sir, because I'm too heavy, sir.
Because you are a disgusting body, Private Pile.
Sir, yes, sir.
Then why did you hide a jelly donut in your foot?
Sounds like the phone calls
Pile?
people won't
Sir,
record.
because I was hungry, sir.
Because you were hungry. Private Pile has dishonored himself and dishonored the platoon. I have tried to help him, but I have failed. I have failed because you have not helped me.
That's how I feel, Lee.
You people have not given Private Pile the proper motivation.
Jesus.
So, from now on, whenever Private Pile fucks up, I will not punish him. I will punish all of you. And the way I see it, ladies, you owe me for one jelly donut. Now get on your faces. Open your mouth. They're paying for it. You eat it. Ready? Exercise.
That is cold-blooded shit.
3, 4,
I'll put the first pile scene when he...
1, 2, 3.
You can stop this anytime now.
Dude, that guy was the real deal, right?
Yeah,
that was a
click him
real
back-
drill
click him just
instructor.
back to and see if we see it on that scroll. Jelly donut scene. Fucking hilarious. Right there, that one. That one. Do you believe in the Virgin Mary? That's a good one, too. That's just, this is fucking hysterical, this part right here.
Drop your cocks and grab your socks.
You imagine? That's me.
Sunday, divine worship
Waking you up
clear
at
away
4 in the
Sunday.
morning,
Get
torturing you.
your bunk mate, get your uniform
I could live
on.
for this shit.
Police call
You would be the best
I
drill
live for this
instructor
shit.
ever.
Private Cowboy, Private Joker.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
As soon as you finish your bunks, I want you 2 turds to clean the head.
Sir, yes, sir.
I want that head so sanitary and squared away that the Virgin Mary herself would be proud to go in there and take a dump.
Sir, yes, sir.
Private Joker, do you believe in the Virgin Mary?
Sir, no, sir.
Private Joker. I don't believe I heard you correctly.
Sir, the private said no, sir, sir.
Why, you little maggot, you make me want to vomit.
He backhands him.
This is the barbecue and conversation we
Now,
had.
you do love the Virgin Mary, don't you?
Sir, negative, sir.
Private Joker, are you trying to offend me?
Sir, negative, sir. Sir, the private believes that any answer he gives will be wrong, and the senior drill instructor will beat him harder if he reverses himself, sir.
Who's your squad leader, scumbag?
Sir, the private squad leader is Private Snowball, sir.
Private Snowball.
Sir, Private Snowball reporting his orders, sir.
Private Snowball, you're fired. Private Joker is promoted to squad leader.
Sir, aye, aye, sir.
Yes, affairs, scumbag. Private Pile.
Sir.
Private Pile, from now on, Private Joker is your new squad leader, and you will bunk with him. He'll teach you everything. He'll teach you how to pee.
Sir, yes, sir.
Private Joker is silly and he's ignorant, but he's got guts, and guts is enough. Now you ladies carry on.
Sir, aye, aye, sir.
Silly and ignorant, but he got guts. Fucking hilarious, this shit.
So good.
This is another movie that came out in
1987.
87. Unfucking believable. I can't wait for they make this over.
Ugh.
All right, Rambo. You can take this off now. Now you're scaring me to death. You got these soldiers and shit. I don't know if the platoon's coming.
The platoon.
What else, buddy? That's it? That's all you got for me today? You cocked
Yeah.
up, you made pizzas. Where you going? So you're going to Borgata with me July 29th. Where
Yeah.
you going before that? Any other things you got going on?
I got the USO thing. Hopefully starting back on Ari's TV show. And then if I could give a shout out to the nonprofit I'm doing, there's a family with a very sick little boy that we're trying to help. And all the money we raise is just for right now. It's just going to go to this family to create as many good memories with their kid as they can while they can. So if you want to make a donation and help my little buddy Steven out, you can just go to regularhero.org. Even if you got a couple bucks, it'll be appreciated. And we're just trying to put some joy into this family's life. That's it.
Wow, the time still.
Yeah.
It's a very sad diagnosis.
Yeah.
Anybody?
But there could be a miracle. You know, there's some hope out there. So it's great. And you just pray and that's it.
There's always a fucking miracle, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're still here.
Yep.
We're still here in this fucking game. So, yeah, the main key of this podcast tonight was just, if you really think you're getting places, see how much you really sacrifice. You know, I found that out, like I said, Saturday night when I would have loved to stay with those guys and done 1,000 things and seen Nyack. But it's so important to who I was then and now. When I started making progress was when I beat myself up.
Yeah.
And you know what? To make progress, sometimes you have to piss off the people around you. Because people don't understand when you do things for yourself. They really don't. People do not want to comprehend when you look at somebody and go, I'm not doing it. I got to do this for myself.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're thinking. I don't care what you want to do. Whatever you want to do is fine. But
Yes.
this is what I'm doing from now on at this time period. You know, and I learned that from Mitch Hedberg. You know, all the greats sacrifice something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I don't think people don't understand how much sacrifice goes into this. I don't understand how much even Lee's close with his mother. Lee's sacrificing himself right now. Lee has to wake up every 16 days because I know him. And he evaluates, you know, he's a nerdy fuck. He gets high and he goes into his head and I know him. I know that he asks himself what the fuck he's doing out here. Because that's his cut. That's the cut he comes from.
Yeah.
But I want Lee to know that every morning when he wakes up, part of that sacrifice is two things. You start out with a goal every day, and you have to attain that goal for the sacrifice not to be a waste. If not, the sacrifice is a waste. Pack up your bags and go home to your mother and your family in Florida. You get a part-time job, tell people you're a comedian, maybe you pick up a house MC job. Nobody really needs this.
Yeah.
But to not feel that your is in vain, you have to get up every morning and go, okay, two things have to happen. Number one, if I do this, somebody's got to pay me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to put a value upon yourself.
It's true.
And that's very hard for people to imagine. Listen, I'm an electrician, you're paying me $8.50 an hour, blah, 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 blah. You know, you also have to justify that. Don't come to me and go, well, I worked 42 hours last week. Yeah, but you were the first one to go both nights. Somebody who wants to be an electrician is the first one here and the last one to go, and doesn't complain about he has to go to the movies or doesn't complain about the superhero movies coming out tonight. He's been waiting. They don't care about that. You want to own this company one day? This is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Everything else gets torn apart. You know, I bust Lee's balls about Paul and him staying home at night. I can't tell him until one day he comes to me and goes, dog, why didn't you punch me in the fucking mouth 2 years ago? I threw away 2 years of my life, 10 hours a week, watching stupid TV shows.
I
cooking.
will say, the older I get, the more valuable my time
Your time,
becomes.
yeah. Oh,
Soon
when you're
as
28, you don't have
think about
that.
it.
You
Now
don't
I
think
start
about
going,
it.
wait a second.
And that's what I try to tell anybody who's under fucking 30 here. Put a value on your time.
Yes.
If you don't do it now, it's going to take too long. It took me till I was 44. I'm a loser compared to you guys. You guys got this in front of you. You make sure that every day counts. Like,
Yes.
you know, in my world, the day was complete if I got a half gram of Coke. But guess what? I always got that half gram. I always got it. My goal was to go out in the daytime. Once I hit the comedy store, I get 10 from you, 10 from Lee, 10 from this guy. I got my 40.
Yep.
I get a check from the store on Friday, and I'll pay them all back, and we'll move on with this. In my world, it was that and to do a set. That justified my existence, who the fuck I was trying to be. And that's what I've been telling Lee and anybody else. I like everybody to have a relationship and everything. But there comes a day you sit the woman down and go, listen, you want to go here? You want to go there? We need to buy a house.
Yep.
You want to get a dog? We need to do this. This just don't come.
Exactly.
This just don't come. I wish I could walk into 7-Eleven and give the Hindu $3 and he gives me the $150 million ticket. I wish it was like that.
Yeah.
And I get the one payment and buy 2 properties and go
then
to
it's
China,
easy.
go to Taiwan, get my dick sucked, eat some fucking lobster tails and come back and tell my wife I love her. But that's not the case. That's not America. That's not. That's a few people who get lucky. You have to really evaluate this. You know, when I was married, I thought it was the 40-hour plan too until I hated my wife. Then I got more hours to complement it. And then when she left, I was like, life is 7 days a week as much as you don't want it to be.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to the UFC this week. I'm doing Buffalo. You think I'm going to sit at the fucking UFC and watch the fight? Not really.
Right.
I'm on that plane at 6 a.m. Saturday morning. I don't give a fuck about no fight.
Yep.
If it's between this or me riding or look at if I would have stayed in Nyack, I would have never booked this role.
Right.
I wouldn't have prepared myself. I wouldn't
Yep.
have been prepared. These are the little sacrifices you have to make. I didn't put flowers on my mother's grave this time. I thought about postponing my trip till Monday, then I got that audition.
Yep.
My mother's been dead for 30 years. She could wait till November for flowers. Or you never know. I might go back in July. I got to go back in July to the Borgata. I might go up that Sunday and put flowers. I have 1,000 options.
Right. And I honestly believe you using your talent to its fullest capabilities, preparing for that audition, that's the best kind of flowers you can give your mother. You know what I mean? A life well lived, a life filled with joy. That's the best thing you can do for all the people that made sacrifices
For you.
for you.
Yeah.
Is to find the joy in living. That's what I think about when I miss my parents. I go, why did my dad work 2-3 jobs? Why were they always there? Because they wanted me to be the best version of me. And this sucks that I'm not with them right now.
Yeah,
But this
so
is
every
the
morning
best.
You're making it work. You're
Yeah,
out of here.
absolutely.
It's not like you're waiting for
I'm
an
making them
envelope.
proud,
You're at
exactly.
the fucking open mic waiting for an envelope.
Right.
You've worked all the... I remember when you were struggling with this guy and this guy. Now you got the apartment. You got the car. Things happen.
Yep.
Listen, it took you 12 years or whatever. Who gives a fuck?
15 years to even start making a buck.
Listen, you're gonna be doing something you didn't want to do.
That's another great piece of advice.
Jesus
the time's
Christ.
going to go by.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to go by sitting in a cubicle doing what you don't want to do, or it's going to go by where you're going towards your dream. And you know what? Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God I put the time in towards my dream.
Because doing what you don't want to do, you might
That's
as well
hell.
throw yourself in jail.
Yep, that's jail.
And you
Yep,
don't know what
it's
that's
prison.
like till you're about in your 30s and you've gotten to yourself in a position. You're like, how did I get myself in this position?
Yep.
This is when I wanted to do all the things I really wanted to
Oh,
do. And
I
now
knew-
I can't do them.
I remember when I was 22, there were kids, I was doing a corporate job, and kids were talking, 22, they were 22, and they were talking about what they were going to do when they retired. I go, what? You're talking about 45 years from now?
You don't know.
Oh,
Unless you got a
forget
fucking
it.
crystal ball.
Goodbye.
What if that guy runs the red light with that truck?
Absolutely.
What are you thinking about 45 years for?
Exactly. So grateful for all the experiences I've had.
I knew what I could do, and I knew what I didn't want to do.
Yes.
You know, and that was
It's a good point.
That was the good thing. I'm happy you came on today, Steve.
I love
So
you,
it was a great
Joey.
way
Thanks
to
for
start
having
off
me.
a month. Lee Syatt's in that place where he needs to be. In La Laville. Don't forget, you bad motherfuckers. I'm at Levity Live in Oxnard for 420. Lee will be there eating 15 stars that night with his father. And then on the 27th, I'm in the Tumbler Brewing House up there in fucking Bakersfield, having a good time. So, yeah, I'm in the Valley the next month after this weekend in Buffalo. Number one, always, HelloTushy.com. The bidets are back. Listen, since I was a kid, I'm one of those people that sits there, and when somebody walks by with a big ass, I say to myself, imagine what that ass must smell like. And that's where a bidet comes in. Where's the siren, Lee? Where's the siren? You know what I'm saying? That's the siren. HelloTushy.com is a portable bidet you can install yourself in your bathroom, okay? No expensive pipings, no plumbing, no nothing available. There you go. That's when you know it's a good fucking, when your asshole stinks, that's the song that plays, and you go to your bidet and boom! It keeps your ass clean, it keeps your nutsack clean, but in all honesty, it's so much healthier, especially when you're sitting on your butt all day. This is a good way to avoid hemorrhoids and crotch rot and everything else that comes. You scratch your ass midday. You know how bad it fucking smells. Everybody at home scratches their ass from time to time and smells their fingers and says, what the fuck did I eat Tuesday? But no more. No more. Not with HelloTushy.com. You also have a 60-day money-back guarantee, okay? Lee, tell them about Hello Tushy and how it changed your life.
It starts my day and ends my day every day. It's amazing. It's.
You do the hot water, the
you
cold
know what?
water.
I have the cold. I only have the cold, and I was worried about it a little bit. It's not that cold, and it feels great. And
a black cock, cold water. There's no differences. Go to HelloTushy.com right now. Take a look at what they have. Take a look at the bidet. Tell me you wouldn't want a bidet for your house. You understand me? Go to HelloTushy.com and press in.
Church.
And get 10% off your order. There's nothing like Hello Tushy. Why have a stinky fucking vaginal hole? Why have a stinky asshole? Why have a stinky pee hole? When you go to HelloTushy.com and get 10% off the bidet. Right now, go to HelloTushy.com. Your mother, her asshole stinks. She's 68 years old. Nobody needs a bidet more than your rotten mother's fucking snatch. Go to HelloTushy.com right now. And Father's Day's coming. That dirty old fucking old man. The other day I scratched my balls and I smelt old man balls. I got right on that fucking bidet. And I fucking Irish Spring those nuts with that cold water. And I can, listen, once you hit the certain age, you get stinky old man balls. Go to HelloTushy.com right now.
Last church.
And that's right. And press in church and get 10% off to your house. All right? Delivered to your house. Why fuck around? What's your fucking deal? We're not trying to insult you. That's the name of the new stand-up comedy show on CISO. Big J Okerson's What's Your Fucking Deal? It features Big J plus other big-time comics insulting a room full of people in a unique stand-up comedy show that's all crowd work. So we may not be trying to insult you, but they definitely are. CISO is where it's at. You understand me? You got my special on there. You got Nick DiPaolo special on there. You got
Doug Stanhope.
Doug Stanhope. You got original programming. This is the way to go.
Fahim Anwar.
Who? Fahim Anwar. I mean, it's so many. Laurie Kilmartin. I mean, the party never stops. Last year, a comedy arena was born where stand-ups roam looking to slay audiences. They call that arena CISO, where no laugh is spared and no punchline is left behind. This month, Big J Okerson's and dozens of other headlining comics join the fray in Season 2 of Big J Okerson's. But on top of that, do you like to laugh, chuckle, chortle, cuckle, guffle, snicker? Then CISO is for you. With CISO, you get unlimited access to CISO original series, next day late night hilarious stand-up specials, and binge-worthy classics, including 42. That's right. That's 42 seasons of Saturday Night Live and the entire Monty Python collection. The It Crowd and more. With CISO, you get binge-worthy classics, British cult comedy, and original series like Harmon Quest and Bajillion Dollar Properties, not to mention the entire SNL library. CISO brings stand-up right to your living room with exclusive content from today's best comedians and on demand. And, listen to this one, commercial free. Sign up now to catch brand new stand-up specials from Nick, myself, Fahim Anwar, Big J Okerson. Right now, do me a favor. Just go to CISO.com right now and sign up 1 month free with promo code Joey at checkout. Ready for a punchline after that? CISO's just $3.99 a month. No joke, $3.99 a month for all the comedy you want, anytime, anywhere, ad-free. You can access CISO content from anywhere at any time using iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Windows, Xbox, and watch your favorite sets from comedians like Louis C.K., Amy Schumer, and Hannibal Buress. Listen, if you don't have CISO, shoot yourself, you fuck. Go to CISO.com right now. Sign up for 1 month free with promo code Joey at checkout. Again, that's CISO.com, spelled SEESO.com, promo code Joey, and get 1 month free right now. Go over there, CISO.com, promo code Joey. I want to thank Onnit, I want to thank CISO, and I want to thank my main motherfuckers over there at HelloTushy.com. Keeping mufflers clean. That's the motto for 2017. I want to thank my man Steve Simeone, and there's also my co-captain of this journey, my favorite Jewish person in the world, Lee Syatt. We'll be back Wednesday for you. No fucking games. I love you, cocksuckers. Stay black and have a great night. I want to thank Steve again. Don't forget to support his foundation. What's the name of it?
Regularhero.org.
Regularhero.org. $5. $5. $5. Get it together, all right? You can save a kid's life. You can make their fucking dream come true. They go to Disneyland. He takes them roller skating. He buys them helmets. He makes pizza. You know the fucking deal. Go to the Heroes. What is it?
Regular Hero.
Regularhero.com. All right, I love you, cocksuckers. Stay black. Uncle Joey loves you. I'll see you motherfuckers. 420. Oxnard Levity. Hit it, Lee.
That bidet commercial was the funniest thing ever.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil?